Hello, welcome to Overwatch University League. This is Pimpin' the Grib, and joining me today is Theta Meta Zero. Is that
They,
correct?
yeah,
Yeah, Theta
the
Meta Zero,
teaser.
or Theta Zero, you could easily say. And tonight we're bringing you a special event of Midweek Madness. We haven't done one in quite a bit. It's been a few weeks. We try to run them weekly, but things don't always work out as planned. And today we have three teams joining us. We have Filthy Casuals, we have Nap Time, and we have Battletoads. So for the first match tonight we are going to be seeing is going to be between Filthy Casuals and Nap Time. Now, I know there's quite a few players that I know that I've played with and have been on teams with in here. Just to start off, we have the ever so famous reduced buffering TLMO on Filthy Casuals with his teammate Zambam, and his other teammate, his captain Squirrelman, is on the other team of Nap Time, while Burt Bork, or also previously known as Butt Barf from my team, is on there. Not Battletoads. Theta, is there anyone here that you recognize that you'll be able to point out? I know
I
some
recognize
players,
Symmetra.
but
I hear she's in this game.
oh yeah, Symmetra is in, and Symmetra is a one-trick Symmetra main.
And I see
Grandmaster
traffic
too.
cone.
Oh yeah, Traffic Cone. Yeah,
I've seen those before.
yeah, I think I actually casted Traffic Cone, or maybe played against him recently. Um,
So what's the skill distribution here? Are we
the,
talking
the,
about?
the distribution, I'd say, overall, it's probably Diamond. You got a
Mhm.
few Grandmaster, like two Grandmasters pretty much per team. Uh, One Diamond on one team, while another one has a high Platinum, and then a few like mid Platinums, and one, I think there's one Bronze on Filthy Casuals, while there's also one unranked player on the team of Nap Time.
So we should
But
expect to see just some very wonderful chaos.
yeah, I think there'll be some good. And I think it's safe to assume that the you're gonna see some players like League of Lulu is a nearly Grandmaster player. I think was the highest one in the signups. Yeah, was just shy of Grandmaster, and it seems to be playing a bit of pretty flex, but big on the Genji and Tracer as well as Zenyatta. So I feel like we're gonna see League of Lulu playing that Tracer or Genji be on the dive. I know TLMO is pretty flexible too. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna see Traffic Cone probably. No, he's a support. It looks like it's a support main, the Traffic Cone. So we'll probably see Traffic Cone on support. But if at the near high masters level, we might see Traffic Cone switch off to some of this DPS just so other players can play the support.
Well, I think we're going to be watching League of Lulu a lot. League of Lulu seems to have a very strong DPS focus,
Yeah,
which is a backbone of any is a good backbone of any team.
yeah. I think a
So
little bit bad with like the RNG of the teams to even out gives Nap Time a little bit of a disadvantage because you have some bit of support mains on here, especially when you have Symmetra, who's kind of like that one trick. We'll see if Symmetra decides to play something else other than
one
Symmetra.
trick, one trick with
But
the Widowmaker avatar, which is a little bit
yeah,
strange.
yeah. But I think these teams are ready. We are going to be playing Kings Row first, followed by Hanamura, and if needed, we will be going to Nepal. And if any tiebreaker happens, we will be seeing those on Lijiang Tower. So, yep, teams are ready. They're bugging me to get started with this game here. It's been a while since I've casted, so sorry if my camera angles are a bit rusty here, but I think we'll have some great games ahead of us here. And
Oh right, you have a webcam, and I'm just a disembodied voice.
yeah, you're a disembodied voice, unfortunately.
I'm a
Uh,
very good disembodied voice, I promise.
yeah, but you're probably the best disembodied voice I've heard.
Oh,
So
well, thank you.
at the beginning here, we're going to be
So,
having Filthy Casuals on the defense.
so you were right on the money with Symmetra playing as Symmetra. So looks like red team is going to be attacking first.
Yep, and we're gonna have that attack Symmetra coming out from Symmetra. So it's really easy when you don't have to when you can just say the hero name when her name's also Symmetra. So makes it really easy. But looks like defense we are gonna be seeing a bit of a dive with the Hanzo. coming out of Bonds. And we are going to be seeing League of Lulu on the Ana, not playing as a DPS, unfortunately. And Tilo flexing on that Winston. And I kind
of... At that time, not really deciding on what they want to do just yet. Might be discussing their team composition. Because right now we have, of course, the attack Symmetra and Lucio and Zenyatta, which is a potential dive comp, especially with that D.Va coming in. So hopefully we'll see some dive, potentially a very uncoordinated one.
Yeah, we'll see Symmetra playing as that DPS role, and can actually be effective. You boost him with that Lucio, and then you have a Discord on someone, plus you have D.Va being there to absorb any kind of damage that Symmetra would take, and they are going to be running this dive. I'm going to get on Symmetra here, see what they try to pull out.
So it looks like they're trying to sneak around back alley, so they don't want to give out that they're doing dive just yet. Blue team just sort of getting ready, trying to see what they're doing. Hanzo might have hit the wall hacks ready for them, so they're going to commit on the dive, and they're already diving in. They might get a free pick on this blue team Winston, but getting really good heals, and blue team managed to pick off the Zenyatta. So this dive looks like it seems to be falling apart very quickly right now.
Yeah, but they do have the spawn advantage, so getting that kill on TLMO will be great, but they pretty much wiped out the rest of the team, and there is one person down, so they could get a bit of an advantage there if they speed up fast enough, but...
And Traffic Cone overextending on this enemy Tracer. We got a Tracer v Tracer battle, Traffic Cone using the recall, forcing out the recall from the enemy Tracer, and Traffic Cone not on the retreat, but maybe they'll get some backup from their team. Traffic Cone actually pulling out ahead, but the team, Traffic Cone's team managing to dive in, maybe trying to capitalize on that pick, forcing the blue team Winston to fall back for now. And it looks like they're trying to commit. Blue team Winston, or red team Winston trying to go out for supports, but getting knocked back. Nano Boost coming out on the blue team Winston, but with the Discord trend and negating that damage reduction. We'll see if anyone will try to stop that blue team Winston from that support. D.Va ultimate coming out, not hitting much, and the Hanzo ult just trying to get them off the point. Really extended brawl with no picks coming out, but it looks like red team is starting to get the advantage, especially with that Transcendence coming out right now. So red team also responding with another Lucio ult, trying to close out this battle. Looks like it's going in the favor of red team for now.
Yeah, that spawn advantage really is going to help them here, as they just keep trickling in. The big bomb coming out here, they're going to try to get him. Gets the Lucio, and they are getting a decent hold here. TLMO getting a health pack. Just playing around, playing out Winston should be, and diving out when he needs to.
And here comes the Symmetra trying to get in. This has been a very back and forth battle, but once again, that spawn advantage giving red team a slight advantage, but blue team managing to put their feet on the ground and holding on first just for the while.
Yeah, the splash damage coming out from TLMO and the Winston is just been taking out a lot of people, just jumping in. He's been taking out people with his jump. It's not doing exactly what a Winston needs to do, getting on those low targets, especially when you can instantly kill him pretty much with that jump.
So, red team Winston committing, starting off the dive, and kind of disjointed right now, people getting distracted by people behind them, but it looks like the dive is starting to work. Red team getting a clear advantage, especially with that D.Va bomb coming out, weakening the blue team D.Va. This might be the push that red team needed to finally cap the point.
Well, you also see Symmetra did switch to Reaper, and it's been getting quite a bit of kills, and being able to heal himself with a new self-heal. It looks like they are going to be getting this point. They've hit the third mark, and there's really not going to be enough time for them to get back. And Bonds
team
just about to get ult again, and we have an ult advantage. Going to be in, honestly, by the time the next fight happens, it'll be even on ults, but...
Blue team deciding to cut their losses, not trying to stall it out, trying to hold the corner around here, which is a very difficult choke, no matter what skill level you are. Red team pushing forward up. They have one person on cart, and they're just starting to... Oh, they're starting to fall back right now, but blue team trying to have a very dominant hold on this choke. Nanobu's coming out on the blue team Winston, but doesn't really have a lot of support. He's just kind of in there by himself, forcing out the Primal Rage on red team. Lucio ult coming out. This might be in favor of red team. Things starting to collapse for blue team, pushing blue team back behind the bends. We'll see how this turns out. Might get a free pick on the red team Winston, desperately trying to get heals. Red team definitely holding a strong first push here.
Yeah, we got two big support ults available on both sides, and Bertborg getting the Lucio with that neutrals out that possibly off the beat. And that's going to be a decent push here. They're going to get past that first checkpoint.
And Faith is actually causing Red Team a lot of headaches right now, getting 3 picks just by themselves, soloing the 4 picks by Faith, just soloing the entire enemy team. That's 5. Faith is just unstoppable right now. Most people get a D.Va stall. Very enthusiastic pulse bomb on a suitless D.Va.
Yeah, I'm not really sure that the pulse bomb was needed there, as D.Va was definitely going to die regardless. But,
you don't know. Maybe Faith decided.
Yeah, Faith had faith in.
He had faith in that pulse
to get
bomb.
more. To get some more balls, and it looks like we're going to see nap time coming from the high ground here. And there's no one on the point, and Trubson just jumps right on it.
So once again, we have that beautiful chaos, but Blue Team actually getting cleaved in half, with Red Team have a very strong focus. Lucio ult coming out, trying to keep this push alive, but things actually going in favor of Red Team right now. Blue Team being pushed back. Transcendence coming out, not sure if that's really necessary, when we had a very clear advantage. TLMO trying to stall on the point as long as possible. This push is dead, but Teemo just trying to get as much time as possible for his team. And that is a full wipe for Red Team.
Yeah, Symmetra came in there sneakily, got a nice Death Blossom on there, got both of the supports. While Zambam had the ult, that ult really could have saved their team, but again, doing exactly what Symmetra needs to do is get that, and it's weird saying Symmetra when it's a Reaper, but getting the kills on the supports, not just one, but both of them. And ult here, and Treb's gonna get a perfect shield on top of that. Wow.
Yeah, that was sort of a desperate D.Va. I'm not sure I agree with that. And Red Team having a very clear advantage. Faith actually getting the support with that really random pulse bomb, which I'm actually impressed. Things are going in favor of Red Team right now, though, but Blue Team's starting to back off. We have a random Lucio just on the point, and a nano-boosted Hanzo. We'll see how this turns out, but this is looking very grim for Blue Team.
Yeah, and I think the biggest difference here was that Symmetra was able to make that switch off the Reaper, knew that the team wasn't doing well in the Symmetra, and even though he is like a one-trick Symmetra player, had that switch that shows that okay, he can play more than just Symmetra. And playing
he's a 1.5
and
trick.
Playing at that higher level of play, you get. I feel like you overall get better at the game. That's obviously. That's not just because he's Symmetra, he's at Grandmaster or Master.
So Symmetra waiting up top, trying to get a sneaky Death Blossom in, just waiting for the blue team, but they're not really giving the position he wants. Red team just going all in right now, just making this very aggressive push. Blue team responded with the Lucio ult. We'll see if this is enough to help blue team finally get their feet on the ground. But a Red team Transcendence coming out, just making things very grim for blue team. They lose the support, and all that's left is a Reinhardt and a Winston. That Reaper uses his ultimate that he's been waiting a very long time for, getting protected by the D.Va, and things are falling apart very quickly for blue team. All that's left is a discorded Winston that actually has Primal Rage, which is really good because he popped it right after he took out the Zenyatta, so you can't get that Discord down. And blue team actually managing to hold on, which is very surprising. But that could be that spawn advantage coming in.
Yeah, they do have the spawn advantage, but I think Symmetra could have held on to that ult a little bit longer, as you didn't like anyone with two barriers in the way of his team.
Yes.
So we have a bit of an ult advantage on the side of nap time, but Vanda's got his ult. Our full local is looking to use the Earth Shatter pretty soon. Just one Fire Strike kills to have it.
So, final push for red team, and things are going in the favor of blue team right now with the health pool dipping very quickly. But blue team actually losing a Winston, but with that spawn advantage, it might not make a difference. Red team just trying to do a desperate final push. Reinhardt getting caught without his shield up on a pulse bomb. A Hanzo ultimate trying to clear out the cart just for red team to get that little extra oomph. But Lucio ult coming out, which might be enough to make a difference. Red team starting to get the picks, and they're starting to just weasel their way in here. Blue team trying very desperately to hold on, just bum rushing and trickling in on the point, trying to make a difference here. We'll see if this Reinhardt makes a difference. I'm not sure if I agree with the Reinhardt just keeping his barrier up that they're charging in, but red team having a very dominant hold in this point, and things are looking very glum for blue team right now.
I gotta give props to Faith, a bit of a distraction and able to stall this point as much as he can. Seeing a lot of kills with his pulse bomb, regardless of necessary or not. Big Earth Shatter coming in here.
Coming in from blue team. This might be enough to hold on. Blue team ultimate from Lucio coming out. This might be just what they need to hold out. That D.Va mech actually getting hit by a pulse bomb through the shield. which was very poor placement by that D.Va. And yes, that is just enough for blue team to hold on just before the final cap, which could be enough to make a difference.
Yeah. Can't even speak right now. Just when I'm not, I guess it's been a bit for me, but I was just I mean, Faith, I gotta give really big props on that Tracer, just staying alive and keeping the pressure on the team and playing for those health packs, just like what a dive needs to be doing. Is
oh yeah, Faith was
nice
phenomenal on the Tracer.
When you need to get those health packs, especially when your supports are down. And I mean, I think some alts could have been a tiny bit better, but I mean, Symmetra's Death Blossom could have been saved. I think that one that he used at one point could have been saved, and that would have maybe got them to push further. But they had 5 out of 6 Filthy Casuals down, but you know, Faith really caused an issue for them and prevented them to be able to push.
I saw a lot of panic.
It allowed Ryan to get that beautiful Earth Shatter in, and then Zambam to get a beat off.
Yes, I was seeing a lot of panic ults, just people pushing Q when they're about to die or when they think that they're going to die, and just kind of wasting ultimates, which would have done better being saved for a later date for more opportune moments. The Reinhardt, I didn't see being played to the fullest capacity. I didn't see people grouping behind the Reinhardt. I didn't see the Reinhardt giving barriers for his teams. And when the Reinhardt was out of position where there was no real reason to use the barrier, he kept it up and was getting picked off. So
yeah, and the Reinhardt helped them helped them save it with that Earth Shadow, but I feel like it was a really late switch to the Reinhardt. But it worked.
So it looks like we got a pseudo dive con coming in with the really strange Hanzo pick, but Hanzo's actually very common on King's Row, surprisingly.
Well,
blue team positioning themselves.
The arrow to see where people are. I think
yes.
Just like he just. Never mind. I'm looking at the wrong person. But.
And we actually have an Orisa on red team. I haven't seen a lot of Orisas recently, so we'll see how well that buff has been doing for her. She is using that shield kind of like a Reinhardt that can use a barrier once every 8 seconds. Blue team trying to take the high ground, but Symmetra, or the blue team Reaper, just kind of soloing the enemy team. Not sure I agree with that getting taken out, but it might have been the distraction they needed, because blue team manages to get a pick on the Torbjorn and the Symmetra. And now blue team has every reason in the world to start engaging red team on the point and trying to get this first push cap. Things going kind of either way, but with blue team with the spawn advantage, this might fall in favor of blue team. Low health pool is really low on blue team though. Things starting to fall apart for red team or blue team, especially with that Soldier 76 just harassing everyone on blue team, not giving them a chance to engage.
Yeah, and Bonza just got ults, getting it fairly faster than the rest of the team on Faith. About to have it too, so we get an ult advantage. It's going to be in favor of Filthy Casuals, and we are going to see TLMO getting Nano, as well as Trebston getting Nano. He's going to try to pop the Nano Visor, and he does take out both supports of Filthy Casuals.
And Faith causing all sorts of headaches for red team. Doesn't seem like they're communicating well enough to establish that there is a Tracer behind them, because Trebston had a good opportunity to take out the Tracer and protect the Torbjorn. But Faith is now just kind of a mayhem maker in the back lines, just being a one-man army. Red team finally managing to regather on the point, and red team has been very tight-knit, which I'm very impressed with. They might be able to get a first hold if they keep this up.
Symmetra using those things, almost taking out the Hanzo, and just going to chase after Lucio. Takes out Lucio, going up the Hanzo, going to take out the Hanzo with barely any health left. And we do have a
meanwhile on the point, Faith is still causing headaches, forcing the Molten Core out of the Torbjorn, which I guess you could walk away calling that a slight victory for Faith. But Faith trying to rendezvous with his team after spending so much time in the backline and somehow surviving, which is impressive all in itself.
Yeah, and there's two ults on both sides of the boards, but advantage looking like it's going to be coming out to nap time, just at the percentages, but still Symmetra hasn't put up a teleporter yet. Looking like she's about to right now. Did put the teleporter up right now.
Teleporter is online. Things are going to be very difficult for blue team now, especially with that teleporter. It's such a nice position.
Well, we did see some switches. Faith is now on the soldier, and Elfo Loco is going to be on the Diva. With only 60 seconds left.
So this is the Hanzo ultimate trying to be a first engage. Winston coming in, forcing out a Primal Rage, but Lucio ult coming to protect him. Might have been a very poor miscommunication there, but blue team is starting to make a difference. We'll see that teleporter coming to play. Probably by 4 this point gets capped. But red team having a very dominant hold right now. Faith still making a difference, but Trepson using the tactical visor with a nano boost, forcing blue team back. This does not look like blue team will be able to get this first point, and it might be a full hold for red team. Faith coming through with a nice...
Yep.
Faith coming through with a nice headshot on Trebson, making a difference, and now Faith is causing all sorts of headaches for the Diva, distracting them while his team manages to capitalize on the point. Blue team forcing their way in, muscling in, and things going kind of either way, but in the favor of blue team right now. We're seeing that teleporter getting used right now. We'll see if Faith, who seems to know or think that something's going on looking at that teleporter, trying to... Yes, Faith finally recognizes that teleporter's here and is finally destroying it. This might be the push that blue team needs to cap the point, but things are kind of looking a little bit grim, especially with that pesky Symmetra on the point just causing all sorts of headaches. Tactical Visor coming out from Faith, trying to make a difference. Diva giving him all sorts of headaches, but this might be enough to let blue team cap the point, especially with that spawn advantage.
Yeah, I think that all could have been popped a little bit earlier from Faith to take up the lead. We do have the Molten Core coming out. Squirrelman had a decent... Actually, no, that's not Squirrelman. Legal Lulu had that Transcendence, which really saved his team from that Molten Core and allowed them to get this cap with into overtime. And they're going to get 2.5 minutes now to get to this next point. And
it always feels like you get so much time to push it all the way to the end. By the time you get to the end, you're at 10 seconds. You're just wondering, where did all that time go? I was thinking that red team was actually doing well on their push, and then all of a sudden, while they're turning at the corner, they only had 20 seconds left.
Yeah.
So
Faith. I mean, could have opted to use his ult earlier. I think it could have been done, but he took out the teleporter, which allowed his team to, have that and keep their spawn advantage. And 2 minutes left on the board, and we got an ult advantage on the side of nap time. With Symmetra actually switching off
to a support, well, a Lucio support.
A real support.
Devo coming out, and actually a very clutch Winston shield. He dove in there, no fear, and put that shield right down, just in the perfect position to protect his team. Red team in a very uncomfortable position, in a very cramped corner that allows the Winston to just zap anyone with reckless abandon. This is not really the best place to hold out when you have that delicious corner right in front of them with that event pack for you to take advantage of. Faith popping the tack visor, maybe a little bit unnecessary, because right now we're just on cleanup detail. Might be able to get Traffic Cone if he... No, Traffic Cone realizing that he's being watched, waiting for his blinks to come back, but actually getting harassed by the enemy Tracer right now. But Lucio coming in to save him, red team being pushed back, and blue having a very dominant hold on this payload.
They also have a huge ult advantage now with 5 against 1, or nearly 2. If they can try not to fight, Squirrelman will be able to get his ult fairly soon. Tilamo getting ult, likely gonna pop his ult, but he gets taken out before he can. He was looking to dive up in the air and use it, but gets taken out. And no one contesting the payload right now. They get to that final corner here.
So we're seeing the Reinhardt again, which is very smart. This is a pretty good composition for Reinhardt to use. Blue team being pushed a little bit far back and red team getting a little bit eager here. We'll see if it pays off. The blue team muscling their way in with that Lucio speed boost, and we'll see who makes the first move here. Reinhardt going down, giving one free reign to just dive in and just pick off every one of those delicious squishies behind that shield. Winston gets taken down, which is really surprising that Zenyatta doing work, but blue team pretty much destroying red team right now. That spawn advantage might help them, but this is looking very bad for red team. Desperation Lucio coming out.
You were saying earlier, Squirrelman, he's taking out Tilamo. I think it might just be a team thing since Tilamo and Squirrelman are on the same team, but Tilamo, if he keeps going after Squirrelman like that, it's good.
Oh!
Tilamo knocking off the
Reinhardt.
And now
So here comes the...
Lucio.
Oh my goodness, the boops coming in from TLMO, just saving the day. Red team trying their best to stall. Oh, that was very close for Symmetra getting that double boop, but 2 high mobility heroes, that's not going to work. But
And
blue team...
getting the perfect hit on that Tracer with the first grenade, and they're able to get this point. Had a really close game. That first point I thought was definitely going to go as a full hold by nap time, but Filthy Casual was able to pull it together and just have one long, consistent push till the end.
Yes, that first point was a bit of a nail-biter, going right into overtime. But they managed to pull through and actually managing to get a better distance than the enemy team. That was very impressive by Filthy Casuals. So here we see that boop coming into play from TLMO's perspective. Just shutting down the Reinhardt, seeing this ulting soldier and just knocking him into the Shadow Realm. That was very good from TLMO.
Yeah, I wasn't sure really what TLMO was going to be playing, and then he's a pretty flex player, so... oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, you cut out.
Oh, okay, I unmuted my mic. I was taking a sip of water. But, yeah, TLMO, pretty flex player. I didn't really know going into this what he was going to play, just seeing how their players were. So when I saw him on Winston, I kind of figured that that he would do pretty decent. He's gone up a long way from the past seasons. He's been climbing a bit, and that's why he's been kind of picked up on. People have tried to pick him up on some lower level teams.
So what's up next?
So up next, we will be playing on Hanamura. We will be having Filthy Casuals this time on the attacking on the red team, and nap time will be on the blue team. And I'm assuming we're gonna see Symmetra on the Symmetra. If not, we might even see. I honestly could see Symmetra playing Sombra, seeing as how Sombra has been picked a lot on 2CP maps, especially since they are running these unusual comps. I'd say off meta picks. But
it is kind of unusual how Sombra has kind of she's found a niche as like a secondary support rather than an assault class.
And that's something that I've noticed with her since the beginning. That a lot of people are like, oh no, she's not a support, she's DPS. Just like how people would say, oh, Symmetra's a support, no DPS. We can't have one support, or like we can't have 3 supports. As I know, Symmetra plays as a DPS, and in nearly most comps. And it's the opposite with Sombra. Sombra plays as support. We were actually playing a game earlier where Sombra we didn't have any supports and just used Sombra, and we were playing fairly well. I was.
But we got we got teams asking. We're just gonna hop right into it.
Oh yeah, okay. Hi chat.
I'll be your messenger.
Yeah, so we're gonna be starting up here fairly soon. Sorry guys, I hide my chat so you guys don't have to read it, and they were asking about what's going on. So I think it's safe to say that we are going to be seeing the same dive pretty much coming out of Filthy Casuals. I don't think we're going to be seeing any, or we haven't seen yet at least, any Pharmacy coming out from either teams, but it wouldn't be surprised if they want to do it against Symmetra.
Well, Pharmacy's a bit strange on King's Road. It has a very low ceiling.
Yeah, I think the first point on, I think you can do a bit with Pharmacy on King's Row, but Hanamura, like, there's a bit more cover if you want to do like poke damage, especially if they did have like a Torb turret. Hello?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
Sorry. I didn't know if you got cut out.
I was just very deep in thought.
Yeah. Are they starting up? They were asking. Are they still let's see.
So Zamban saying they're not ready. I don't know if he's... Okay, so it looks like things might be down 1 for nap time.
Okay, no, that's not nap time. That's Filthy Casuals.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we might be down 1 player. Let's see. We might possibly have a sub, but so right now we do have Battletoads waiting, and that team is good now. They're ready to start, and we are starting up here. Hanamura, we have Filthy Casuals on attack. They are up in the series 1-0. And after this, we will be seeing Nap Time versus Battletoads.
So is this round robin, best of 3, best of 5?
It's best. These are going to be best of 5s, and I guess pretty much it's going to be a round robin. And if there is a big tiebreaker, we'll probably just use the scores. So there's like a score formula that I use for like a kind of like what we use in the league for like tiebreakers and stuff. That I call it score efficiency, and like it's hard to do when you are playing on different map types, but like if you were to do the math, it would kind of add up. So that's points scored out of points possible, pretty much. So if you were to shut out a team, you would have a better efficiency than 3-2ing a team, essentially. If we came down to like a 3-way tiebreaker, it would come down to the points.
We have Team DLC coming out from nap time with a Sombra, a Anna, and a Orisa. With a Torbjorn and a Reinhardt. Not sure what the Reinhardt's going to do. Probably just going to give Red Team headaches on that first choke.
Well, this is completely team barrier here, as they got every barrier, well, except for the Winston.
We got barriers for days. What's missing is Winston.
Yeah, only real barrier we're missing, and then if you count the shields from Zarya as a barrier, we're gonna get Burt Bork as someone.
So Red Team going for a dive comp again. So we got a sneaky Reinhardt here, probably trying to get a free dash charge kill, but I guess abandoning that idea and falling back. Winston forcing the engage right now, but the enemy team the defense is just too strong right now for them to just go in 1 by 1. D.Va barely escaping with her mech right now, and Orisa and Symmetra and the Torbjorn, just everything coming down this choke point, causing Red Team all sorts of headaches. So this is going to be a tough
Torbjorn
push.
really close to getting that molten core. Oh, I'm not even in game. Wow, I feel like a scrub. So it's not that bad. I don't think there's been any deaths yet, but we are going to be seeing Big B getting his ult fairly fast here.
Torbjorn already ult 4. That turret has been doing work. Red Team not really having an answer for all this damage that's coming through this choke point and getting decimated. That Winston deciding to do a tactical suicide, realizing that this push is just about over.
Yep, and a really smart of Trebson to go with the Sombra, as it's really the only real counter to a dive is have a Sombra. And combined with this crazy team composition just makes it even better. And with Symmetra already getting that teleporter ready.
So, very slow Symmetra ult. Actually, Torbjorn getting ult at the rate I'd expect Sombra to get it. But the Symmetra ult coming through, did they put down a teleporter or a shield gen? Yes, it is definitely a teleporter, which is going to come into play right now. Red Team having a very dominant hold on the point. They might not be able to actually get in on time, but we'll see if they can just at least stall for the time being. So it looks like we're just going for the stall strats right now, realizing that this is just about lost. Nano Boost being wasted on what is essentially a failed defense right now, so I'm not sure I really agree with that. 2 ults going in on something that Blue Team has already lost. So a bit of a waste right now. Right now we just have the stragglers getting picked off for now.
Yeah, it was close. Burt Bork was probably a step away from getting the shatter inside the plant zone, or the capture point. And we do have EMP available, as well as the
So, blue team not really changing their composition for right now. We're about to get another Symmetra ultimate, so it's most likely going to be a shield gen, not much use for a teleport right now. Bonsai Tuna getting a very lucky headshot on the Sombra. And Bright Burger getting picked off with a pulse bomb and the follow-up by Winston. Red team's already closing in on this point, and things are looking a little bit hairy for blue team right now. They're struggling to even stall them. They're just getting all this free cap with no one really contesting it. Genji ultimate coming out. Lucio ultimate coming out. Sombra ult just trying to save everyone, but once that ult wears off, we have almost a complete usage of ults from red team. And it's coming in. No one's on the point. That Reinhardt's about to fall down. Symmetra just trying her best to make a difference, and this is just about over.
There's not really much this team can do. Squirrelman does have ults. He hasn't really used it yet, but now they're trying to drop it because they'll just get eliminated right away. But we do have a molten core now, and if he can get his turret up, it might be useful to pop it. But he does get it. He does pop the molten core, and they might be able to hold this here. 4 minutes left.
Actually, red team's hubris might have gotten the best of them. Red team was overextending, pushing really deep into the spawn. They almost lost this push because of it, because no one was on the point to help everyone else from the defenders. Blue team just trying their best to stall out as long as possible. They're doing a very good job. This has been going on for about 30 seconds. Lots of just damage coming in from red team though, so this is just a matter of time, it looks like, the red team. Lucio ult coming through. Actually, this Lucio ult and Reinhardt Shatter might make a difference. 2 picks for blue team, and things actually going in the favor of blue team right now. Red team's starting to fall apart. So it looks like the stall strats are real right now.
Yeah, Faith getting a nice, we got the sleep coming out of Lulu on the Reinhardt, and then Faith getting the pulse round and just allowing his team to take it out. But there's a good hold here. Came from nap time. Surprising hold, and we only really had is a symmetric. So I'm going to be playing that Mercy now, and nearly has ult. Trebson did also switch up the Sombra onto the May. Just to get as much hold as possible.
Bonsai Tuna getting a long-range projectile headshot of his own now. But that was definitely the fault of red team's hubris. They were a little bit overextended, just getting too aggressive on their spawn. Meanwhile, blue team was just flanking around them and harassing the people who were left on the point, and that's when things started to fall apart. But they have plenty of time to just get that last little tick in.
Yeah, especially since they already have 2/3 of it. It can be fairly easy to get the last of it. But Symmetra having that res fairly soon, and now we do have the Blizzard coming out from Trebson, but gets taken out by Faith.
So red team finally deciding to collapse on the point. A solo res, we'll see how that works out, but ult advantage very strongly in the favor of red team, allowing them to have a very extended engage. So we'll see how this works out. Torbjorn molten core coming out with a Blizzard from May. Doesn't really catch anyone, but red team's starting to collapse just from getting cleaved. Diva ult coming out, just trying to make a difference here, but gets sectioned off by the May wall. Things are looking very grim for red team right now. Ult advantage now coming in for blue team. This might have actually been a dry push from red team, because we're not seeing any ults coming out from their side. So that might have been very clever.
They did use the used his bomb. Both bears, and Timo started in there with his ult and took out the turret, but his team was not there to follow because Bonsai was taken out. His Lulu was also spawning. So now they kind of did use 2 ults there, but they do have a nano blade that can happen while we have a big support ult that can come from traffic cone to neutralize it.
Yes, the Orisa ult, which is actually we'll see if he takes advantage of the range in the Orisa ult, because it can just cover across the map. Engaging with the nano blade, responding from blue team with the Lucio ult. So we'll see how this turns out. Nano blade just being rendered basically effective and gets frozen and taken out thanks in no small part to Trebson. And red team's starting to fall apart very apparently. Faith might actually make a difference with his pulse bomb. Doesn't seem like it. All that's left is a poor Lucio and a poor Winston just getting frozen into a Winston skull. And now Lucio pops coming out soon. This Lucio just
switch though. Bonsai does switch off the Genji onto the Reaper. Probably just trying to take out the May as it easily takes him to
we do have
there. And also Squirrelman has been able to stay alive with all those barriers, so I think switching off onto the Reaper is good because you can get that immunity from with Reaper's
The Wraith
Wraith
form.
form.
Yes, and it was a good answer because we do have some meteor characters with a bit of a heavier health pool, especially with the Torbjorn armor coming in. First final engage for red team. 8 seconds remaining, so this is going to be an overtime cap. Earth Shatter coming out and basically just shutting it down. A key sleep coming in from Anna to shut down the Reinhardt, but she gets picked off, and all that's left is a suitless Diva and a lone Winston. Faith trying to make a difference from high ground, but there's not much a soldier can do by himself, especially against an entire angry blue team. So, a very close hold for blue team. 89.5% is not really something to scoff at. That's very decent for Hanamura. It's very possible to not even let the enemy team get a single tick on this map. So that might be all the difference that they need.
Yeah, I definitely think that Filthy Casuals can hold them well, but actually I take that back. We have seen the better defensive holds coming out of a nap time, especially on that first round of King's Row. They're able to hold while nap time was able to take the point. I think after their second or third push, they took advantage of the spawn advantage, was able to just keep jumping in. So I think if they keep doing that nap time will be able to do this. And we might have Squirrelman on the Junkrat. He does play Junkrat, and Symmetra is teasing that Widow there, but I don't think that they're going to go with the Widow.
Junkrat works on this point. It just starts with a massive choke. Not sure if that Bastion pick is serious, but we'll see. They might just be preparing to have to deal with just barriers upon barriers, but red team opting for kind of an almost barrierless defense. All we have is a Winston barrier, which can't really hold off an entire enemy team, a Widowmaker, which is surprising, and just as I say that, we get a Reinhardt, so there's that barrier.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the Torb, you nearly have to have some sort of barrier for your team, otherwise that turret's going to be taken down fairly fast. And we do have Squirrelman now playing on that, getting back to the Zenyatta and Traffic Cone on that chaser. So we do have a dive coming out from nap time. It looks like
Very
they're gonna do some
unusual
cheese,
dive.
but I'm not sure if they're going to stick with that, but let's go to Faith, as Faith's going to be trying to snipe them.
Red team having a very forward defensive position. I guess trying to catch him by surprise. Faith getting a very sneaky headshot on that Torbjorn, just immediately picking him off. And red team collapsing from behind. They were not expecting this. Diva getting just torn apart right now. This is a very bad push for blue team, but we'll see if they can get tricked twice.
Yeah, but playing that Sombra just like Nap Time did to them, and this is a really good map for it because there's those two huge health packs that are nearly absolutely necessary to hack if you're going to defend defense at Sombra.
So they're taking full advantage of that health pack. That Sombra almost has her ult, and I'm sorry. We have a sneaky Tracer trying to get the back cap, forcing red team to retreat, but it's all for naught. All that we got was a little bit of extra percent, which will quickly go away.
Capricorn nearly taking out Faith, really going after Faith.
There's nothing worse than a Widowmaker, and it's very... Oh, Earthshatter coming out, getting 4 people. That was very good, but we didn't really have a good follow-up. But TMO just trying to be his own follow-up. Almost suiciding with the Diva, but getting killed by the Tracer. Things kind of going either way right now, but blue team with that spawn advantage, we'll see how this plays out.
Symmetra just taking out, using the heals that just came to his new kit to take out Bonsai, and Liga Lulu is going to retreat. And they get this point fairly fast, faster than
Come on, we need to get control of the point.
Those were very dominant, very sneaky defensive holds, but they didn't hold up for a considerable amount of time.
Faith switching to McCree now. That's really the only change that we're going to see in out of Filthy Casuals, and I think this dive that they got. This is actually kind of like one of the newer dives ever since Reaper's got his kit changed a bit. So
just a little bit, yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a unusual dive, but It's just definitely been a newer strategy. But the problem is you have like 2 close range characters when no one to really take out that turret.
So Winston deciding to initiate with the Primal Rage, and meanwhile EMP goes off. Traffic Cone and Symmetra getting 2 picks. Ultimate coming out from Roadhog, but getting eaten up by the D.Va, and he's about to get capped by the Reaper right now. Blue team collapsing on the point. We'll see if Red team can manage to hold on, because right now we have the spawn trickle. Reaper ultimate coming out, clearing the point. This is looking very bad for Red team right now. Unless they can pull out a miracle with this Winston McCree Roadhog, this might be a victory. Torgrim coming out with the Molten Core. Sorry.
I was gonna say we had one big wheel come out, but we still have Squirrelman having Transcendence ready if needed to be, and I don't think they need it as this team is so close. But then we got Faith, Teal'c jumping in on there, and jumping off the point. Wow.
A
Get this, and that's going to be a tied series now, as Naptime's going to take this map, and we are going to be going to a game 3, which is going to be on Nepal.
So King of the Hill. That's going to be interesting because that is a very strong sort of inconsistency, I guess you would suppose. Both teams seem very dominant on their winning maps. So we'll see how they fare on equal rounds. Symmetra are actually kind of confused why this got played the game. I guess he's just getting these key assists off.
He's getting the assists and just getting the pot shots that's needed.
Symmetra responds with a very unenthusiastic, amazing.
Yep, so this tied series now. Pretty good series, actually. Both games getting pretty close to the wire and getting into overtimes on both sides. But I don't know. I felt like after that first cap, the Filthy Casuals had it in the bag, but that hold from Naptime just shows how strong their defense is, and the defense is what I think is what won them the game.
I'm not seeing a lot of switching, but I am seeing a lot of hero variety.
Yeah, we do see a lot of variety, out of Naptime, but I think Filthy Casuals attempted to switch things up a bit by going with that Sombra, and I although Faith did get that pick with the Widow, I think that it really hurt them once the Reinhardt got taken out, and once that aggressive strategy they're doing didn't work for them. So we are going to be seeing Nepal now, and I think we're first going to be on Village. That's what
we're jumping right in.
Yep. And we got teams did switch colors again. We do have Filthy Casuals back on the blue team, and we are going to be seeing League of Lulu now going to be opting to play the Genji. As we saw before, we had Bonsai playing the Genji, but this time it looks like League of Lulu is going to be playing it. We mentioned this earlier that League of Lulu seems to play Genji, Tracer, and Zenyatta in competitive. He's the highest SR in this event right now. And Teal'c getting off the Winston and is going to be playing a support as Zenyatta. So they're really changing up their whole roster a bit. I wouldn't say their dive was bad. Maybe it's just that the supports are having some issues, because I don't think Teal'c was doing bad on the Winston. And we are going to be seeing a pharmacy from Naptime.
And the Trice support coming out.
Yep. But remember, as much as DPS.
She is a DPS, they just call her a support. Red team still hasn't picked all their characters though. Last minute D.Va and Winston coming out, so kind of like a pseudo dive for both teams. Red team having a delayed engage right now because of those last second picks. But they actually managed to force Blue Team a little bit farther back from the front lines. And Blue Team doesn't actually really have an answer to this Far Mercy. There's no hit scan that can really deal with him. But Traffic Cone got separated by their Mercy. She's all by himself. And she gets picked off. That Mercy just confused without a healed target. And Symmetra just doing his best to stall out on the point before Blue Team just collapses in and gets that cap. But Faith getting picked off by that lone turret.
With Symmetra, if you get her on the point and able to set up a turret, it can get a bit hard for a team to cap that. But with Winston being so prevalent in the meta right now, it's really easy to take out her turrets.
Okay, so hopefully we'll see a lot more coordination coming out from this far Mercy right now, but they're already getting separated. Red team trying their best to just stay together. The blue team starting to engage with the Winston, getting shoved back immediately. This is sort of a choke point hold for them right now. Ultimate's coming out for 3 people on blue team. Red team just barely getting their Lucio right now. Symmetra immediately getting picked off by Faith along with a pulse bomb. I don't know if I agree with that Lucio, considering that you were already down 2 people. But blue team answering with some ultimates of their own. A Genji ultimate coming out, starting to pick off the Pharaoh Mercy combo, and just shutting down red team.
Yeah, I'm not getting too much with it, but they get the Mercy. They got them to stagger a bit, and now they're just going to push them towards their spawn a bit, and going to keep holding them at this choke here. And no real switches. So we did see Traffic Cone actually did switch off. He's going to be on that. On the chase down. Traffic Cone been playing a pretty decent chaser in this series. And there's a teleporter up, so they can make that really fast, however.
So, feeling emboldened by this teleporter, red team just starts doing a very aggressive engage, but Faith recognizing the problem and taking out the teleporter, but getting harassed by those turrets. Meanwhile, on the point, red team's collapsing in. All that's left is a D.Va ultimate. Winston not having a barrier, so they had to retreat for now. And all that's left is Faith just trying his best to stall out, deciding not to, and retreating to live another day.
And Symmetra is going to be putting up those turrets just to get an advantage here. Take advantage of a tight area that the team needs to go to so they can get those quick car wash kills.
So blue team engaging immediately. They are back, and they are back with a vengeance. They immediately pick off Symmetra, immediately pick off the Mercy, and they're just collapsing on red team, who honestly almost looks surprised that they just re-engaged this quickly. D.Va ultimate coming out, just trying to save the suit. Blue team collapsing on the point, and Genji ultimate coming out might be enough to just clean up the remainders of red team so the blue team can just retake this point. This Zenyatta is actually going very uncontested, and uncontested Zenyatta is not something you want to hear if you're on the enemy team. Zenyatta having a transcendence just through having all that freedom and enabling blue team to just try to get this last cap. Mercy Rush coming in might make a difference, but Winston shutting down most of red team. This is going very strongly in favor of blue team, but Lucio ult might be enough to save red for now. This precious stall is coming out. Things are going either way, but blue team's starting to collapse a little bit.
And Traffic Cone took out both the supports. As you were saying, the uncontested Zenyatta, he took out the Zenyatta, stuck the Lucio, but that was not enough for his team to defend, and now we're going to see the casuals capping that back with nearly 10% left. And
Red team has 10 whole seconds to stand on the point. Symmetra, I guess, just giving up, making a beautiful turret display. So here we go, the final push coming in, getting shut down immediately. But you got that overtime, so that might be enough to make a difference. Genji ultimate coming down, just deciding to say, no, this is our point.
Taking out D.Va mech and continuing to stay alive and do a lot of damage for his team so the Winston can take out all the lobies. Tilamo getting some shots in there too with his Discord, and yeah, him being uncontested for that long of time, as you noted earlier, allowed his team to get a lot of kills and stagger nap timing. Traffic Cone tried his hardest to realize that and took out both supports, but it's not a one-man team. The team's gonna have to pick up, and I'm not sure if the weak point was in the Symmetra. Playing that off meta pick, and also like the not only just off meta, but unusual, I'd say, for a map like
unorthodox.
Unorthodox.
So,
yeah, exactly. That's the word I'm looking for.
The best counter to Zenyatta is, believe it or not, shooting him. And the enemy team was not contesting the Zenyatta at all. They were letting him discord whoever you wanted. They were letting him heal whoever you wanted. You need to harass the Zenyatta, otherwise he will capitalize on it and his team will capitalize on it in turn. So we have a very aggressive engage coming in immediately. League of Lulu getting a pick on the Winston already and just chaining kills. Things falling apart immediately for Red Team. Red Team answering back with a few kills of their own. Symmetra actually might make a difference if he keeps this up. But no, he eventually gets picked off. And things a little bit close, but going very strongly in favor for blue team.
Yeah, and the way League of Lulu's been playing, you would have thought that they would have put Liga Lulu on Genji earlier in the in this series, but I almost want to say that it's a big difference having. I mean, we already know Faith has been playing great Tracer all series, but now you can combine that with what a dive needs and the great actually DPS, and Liga Lulu is doing that. And
El Pollo Loco engaging with a very aggressive D.Va mech, or a D.Va boost into the entire enemy team, getting punished very quickly. But Blue Team's still managing to holding on. Red not capitalizing on those kills. Genji Ultimate coming out, just cleaning up right now, just shutting down this push. Things looked a little bit in favor for Red Team, but they just couldn't capitalize on that free pick they got on that D.Va.
Yeah, and Liga Lulu got all the damage there while Faith was able to get the killing blow on nearly everything that Liga Lulu sliced. So good duo coming out from these two, and Faith having the ult as well as Bonsai. So we got an equal amount of ults on both sides, and probably by the time the next fight happens, we'll see quite a bit more ults, as everyone's nearly at 80%.
So sneaky shield gen coming in. Blue Team started off looking for it, but he can't find it quite yet. And Red Team capitalizing on that distraction, just rushing in with that extra 50 health. 75 health, I'm sorry. Blue Team having a Lucio ult to protect them, answering with a shield of their own. D.Va ult coming out might make a difference, not quite. Winston ult sets it off. TLMMO using a Transcendence ult, responded with a Lucio ult in return. Things kind of can go either way right now. We got a pick on Winston, but health pools are kind of equal either way. But Blue Team's starting to collapse. That Zenyatta is still uncontested, just letting get discords of his own. Red Team Zenyatta coming out, trying to hold on. Faith manages to actually find the shield gen, making Red Team suddenly down 75 health. Genji Ultimate coming out, just cleaning up, finishing up this push, which has gone on for a very extended amount of time.
Yeah, took out Symmetra and took out Scrumman. The difference is Liga Lulu is not letting Scrumman pop up those discords. But regardless, Burkborg getting some decent kills with the Primal Rage, but it would be enough for them to get this point.
Winston managing to stall out on Red Team with a nice Zenyatta heal lure. This might be enough to let Red Team just get their first cap, but Blue Team responding immediately, just coming back full force. Red Team doesn't have the firepower to answer back. But here they are, reinforcements finally arrived, but TLMMO getting another Zenyatta ultimate with all that damage that he's been putting out, along with the discords. Blue Team might be able to hold on just so that Red Team can't even get the first cap.
It doesn't look like that there's going to be any saving grace for nap time, but they still keep charging in. Faith's available with it all. Does stick to Zenyatta, and that's going to be enough for them to win the second map here. And we are going to be going to Shrine, I believe, or Sanctum?
Yeah.
Shrines. Yeah.
The Death Pit.
The Death Pit, yes. And,
that must have been...
And I wonder if we will see Pharmacy again coming from Traffic Cone and Squirrel. I always like to play on this map, so I wonder if we'll see it.
That must have been very frustrating for Symmetra. He managed to get a teleporter off right as the game ended. But hopefully we'll see lots of tight, cramped spaces in this map, so Symmetra actually not staying on Symmetra, going for a reset, probably trying to get those Death Pit pulls. So hopefully we'll see some of those.
Man, optimal play the Junkrat, probably just trying to get on my nerves, as I love when he plays Junkrat, but...
this is a very Junkrat friendly map.
I'd say, yeah, you get the boobs and stuff, and there's like if they try to opt and go inside the little... a tunnel there on the point that you just stand needs.
I'm afraid this Orisa might all be for naught, as Blue Team has very high mobility heroes. Still, Red Team actually getting two picks, a D.Va mech and a Lucio, which is a very key pick right now. This might be enough for Red Team to just immediately engage. Squirrel Man blowing himself up, but killing Bonsai Tuna with the suicide bombs at the end. But Red Team just capitalizing right now. There isn't much of anything to stop capping the point. And, oh my goodness, a nice boot from Zabam. Zabam taking out a D.Va mech as well. The DPS Lucio is real. But Red Team's collapsing on Blue Team. They don't have an answer for it. So this is definitely going in favor of Red Team for now. League of Lulu trying to stall, though. And actually reflecting a nice Helix rocket onto Traffic Cone, and Bonsai Tuna coming in to just give him backup. That was enough to make a difference. So that is very good coordination, and oh, Big B just getting booped into the pit the second time in a row.
I can't believe Lulu did that. He came in there. Like, it was 3v1 at least, and he got a few perfect headshots. He got the dash and then the kill. That bought enough time for Bonsai to jump in there. They're so close to having the point on the side of nap time, but Lulu just coming in clutch there and getting all the kills, not saving any for anyone else.
We saw a backline battle of Faith just trying to get a free pick on Soldier 76. But anyways, we have a current battle coming on. League of Lulu getting shut down by Big B, managing to get a little pick off of Squirrel Man. We'll see if Red Team can capitalize on this pick. But once again, that Zenyatta's uncontested. That D.Va just has a Discord orb on her, and nobody's stopping this Zenyatta from just having free reign on whoever he chooses. Things could go either way, but Red Team has the ultimate advantage. We might see Soldier Ultimate just trying to clean up right now. But Blue Team just utilizing that death pit, and Red Team collapses. Things looking very uncoordinated for them.
Yeah, Zambam, I think he's gotten at least 4 boops this game. It has been a lot. I guarantee you we will see a scorecard for environmental kills, as that's been...
And a terrible stagger on Big B, getting killed right as their own teammates started to return. This is going to hamper them for a very long time. And they only have 30 seconds left to get on the point and at least get overtime to hopefully get their first cap.
Yeah, 20% left on here, and
Symmetra's
taken out already.
Symmetra very out of position just by himself and getting attacked by 3 people and shut down. This is not what Red Team needed. Red Team just needs to rely on their ults. They have 10 seconds left to get on the point. Junkrat ult finally coming out, getting a free pick. And Trafficone using his ultimate, but can't do much with his Zenyatta ult shutting him down. But this might be just what Red Team needs to get in. They do have overtime ready. All we have is a D.Va left on the point. And Lucio ultimate to protect them from the Necklace D.Va, I suppose. But Red Team did manage to cap the point for the first time this set.
Yeah, Squirrelman taking out Liga Lulu really helped his team. Maybe if Liga Lulu's doing the shot calls and is dead, unable to make them shot calls. And regardless, that ultimate definitely helped him. And the one-time Junkrat actually did something that I approve of.
So we're seeing a lot more coordination from Blue Team, and that's making a big difference. Here comes that Lucy ultimate, protecting League of Lulu as he whips out his Genji blade and just goes free reign on Red Team. Orisa ult coming out, but immediately gets destroyed by Winston. But Red Team actually having a slight advantage right now, but Blue Team managing to bring it back. We might actually get some boops with his Winston ultimate. And once again, no one's paying attention to this Zenyatta on Blue Team, just letting him do whatever he wants, and they're getting punished for it. Blue Team
they don't really have anyone that can harass other than Trevson, and Trevson is usually getting shocked by the Winston. Unable to, by the time he gets to the Zenyatta's like out of mech.
So I would have to say a key factor here is just coordination. It's very clear that Blue Team is calling out their targets. They're shooting who's ever discorded. They're sticking together. Meanwhile, on Red Team, I'm seeing a lot of disjoint. I'm seeing people running off on their own, just kind of getting picked off, which is tearing them apart. So that would have made a bigger difference is if I saw a lot more coordination, a lot more targets being called, and a lot more clustering together.
And Bonza here, getting the play of the game. I thought actually it would have been Lulu
with all those Genji blades.
Because they're doing a pulse bomb, but just getting dishing out a lot of damage. Not even have to use an ult there. And we did see 5 environmental kills. As I figured there's going to be a high number, but 5. If I could give a vote, I would easily give a vote to Zambam there. But that's a series going to go to nap time, and we are going to be seeing nap time versus Battletoads next. And so Filthy Casual's taking this, and nap time going to be playing Battletoads, and if nap time loses there, then obviously they're going to be out of this, but it's not over yet because nap time can still be Battletoads, and even Battletoads could be Filthy Casuals. We never know. what's going to
So
happen.
how many series do we have?
There's going to be 3 series, so we finished one. We're going to be going to the next one fairly soon. I just got to get the other team in here now.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually might have had some time to practice because they've had this dead game. So they're all ready. So I didn't send an invite to the custom. They're in a quick play right now. We will be taking a short break here as we wait for this team to come in. So stand by as we get ready for this next game. Hello everyone and welcome back to Overwatch University League Midweek Madness over here at twitch.tv/OWUniversity. The first series we saw, we had Filthy Casuals beating Naptime 2-1, and now we're going to have Naptime going up against Battletoads on Numbani, which we're going to be having Naptime attacking first. So coming on the side of Battletoads, we have Zuriel, Nico, Cat Armpit, okay, that is reading it weird, okay, Riz, Choppy Gamer, and Grimlock. So we are going to be seeing a dive coming up from their team, but with on defense with a Mercy and a Soldier and Genji. So other than that, the rest is pretty standard dive. And on the attack side, I'm curious as to what we're going to see from Naptime this time. Are they going to be going with another attack Symmetra or maybe attack Torb?
Might feel a little bit confident coming off of that Zenyatta play that they had. So we might actually see an attack Zenyatta, which will be interesting. As for blue team, Battletoads, we have a Mercy, which is a little bit unusual without a Pharah, but we can make it work. But sort of like a pseudo dive, pseudo like backline support kind of comp, kind of like a long range support almost.
Yeah, and you see it start to. I think Soldier on the defense is a little bit more common. I said I think Soldier on the defense is a bit more common when you do kind of want to go with that like dive comp on defense. Although it's always weird for me seeing dive on defense just because of how like it wasn't always like that. Like dive was like usually strictly attack, but like now it's like that's the whole meta.
So red team having a more traditional dive composition. I say, as I just noticed, they have an attack Torbjorn, but Symmetra's a color pick, we'll just call it that. But we do have a soldier answering their soldier in return. Looks like they're going to, I haven't quite decided, looks like they're just going to a main chokehold push. Not getting any fancy with any high ground or anything. Winston engaging right now on the supports, cleaving the blue team right now. But Trepsa on Lucio overextending a little bit and getting picked off by the Winston. But Symmetra managed to actually set up a Torbjorn turret, but it's going to get very quickly destroyed. Unless he manages to get this D.Va kick. And he actually manages to... No, I'm sorry. Red team just got absolutely destroyed. And now we have a staggered D.Va right now, which is just going to cause all sorts of trouble for Naptime.
Yeah, but pretty good hold coming here from Battletoads. I got the team name wrong for a second in my head. At least I thought I had it wrong. But for a second, actually, it mixed up the teams. I thought Battletoads was on offense. I was like, wow, they're going to get this really fast. But no, they're on defense and had an amazing hold there. I don't think anyone got picked off on their team as far as I remember.
So Winston trying to help the Torbjorn set up, they immediately get dove on with the Genji, and then Winston just causing them all sorts of headaches. Lucio in on the fun as well, and cleaving the red team, just separating them. Trepico managed to get a pick on the Genji, but it doesn't make much of a difference when the rest of your team's dead. And all we have left is this lone D.Va, who seems... I'm not sure if he relates to the party or not.
Yeah,
it might have made a difference.
So Zuriel just trying to get those poke shots on just to get that ultimate before the next fight, and does have it as well as Choppy Gamer and Nico. And Aziz is not too far from having a res coming up, while only Traffic Cone is the one that's going to be having an ultimate in this next fight. And Torb's looking to get a little bit sneaky, crouching underneath, trying to set up a teleporter right there. Gets it out. Choppy's going to pop his ult.
I'm not sure if this is great, because you're intentionally separating your team now, which is what's been causing you all this grief before. And blue team, it's very clear that they're calling out targets, Battletoads, I'm sorry, and look at the ult advantage. Battletoads has almost all their ults except for Choppy Gamer, who just used his. We have a tactical advisor, not sure I really agree with that. You were on cleanup, and there wasn't really much of a need for it, but hey, whatever. You got 4 ults remaining to play with.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think popping both Soldier's ult and Genji's ult was really needed. The teams are wiping the floor, but I mean, they still have 4 ults available.
Red team having the full house. Yeah.
Full trunk full. And Symmetra hasn't been able to get a turret up to even pop a useful multi-core.
keeps separating is he keeps trying to go for these sneaky turrets, but the problem is that he's getting called out and he's getting picked off for it. But this might be the distraction that he's needed. He actually almost has it completely to level 2 now. There we go, the full level 3 Torbjorn turret ready to cause Battletoads all sorts of grief, and red team going all in, using all their ults to make sure that they cap this point. And they might actually get away with an extra 1 or 2 ults if they play their cards right. So all that's left right now is a Winston, Lucio, and a D.Va. Something very easy for them to clean up on. But Squirrel Man, I guess, deciding he's not going to take any chances, popping the Transcendence out just to close out, making extra sure that they get this final cap.
Yeah.
Oh!
Pretty good.
There's the 4-man res.
Yeah. And a clutch shield there by Nico as he's able to protect the team from...
Oh, what a plot twist. So, things are finally going well for Snap Time, but Battletoads come in with a Mercy, Control Z, just undoing absolutely everything, and all that's left now is this lonely Primal Rage Winston who's starting to get picked off, and Big B just trying to get him support, but the best they can do is just trickle in and hope for the best. But things looking very grim for Snap Time.
We do have the ultimate coming out of Nico that we're pushing back, and it's going to be full hold here from Battletoads, and now we're going to be able to see Battletoads attempt at offense. And
score 0-0.
So
the chat's calling it a throw. I don't call it a throw. I think it's just a unfortunate scenario for Nap Time with the Mercy res coming into play and just ruining everyone's day.
So wonderful new capture point mechanics coming in. So now all that Battletoads has to do is just cap that little third right there. So I think a really big problem with Nap Time during that entire push was they were getting separated, but it wasn't even that they were getting cleaved by Battletoads. They were going, their approach was separating themselves, trying to get sneaky flanks, which, as you can see, it didn't pay off. It only paid off once out of every single push that they tried to do it on. And in the end, that Mercy res just coming through after they used all their ults just to clean out the blue team. They wasted too much time just trying to do, I don't know what you would call it, a gimmick kind of strategy, which just didn't pay off at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, I think after, you know, the first 2 times it failed, you know, fool me once, but shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. And, I mean, after the second time where it failed, I mean, almost helped them, but you know the Mercy res just completely neutralized it. They needed to get that ult earlier, and it's the whole fight. They had the ultimate disadvantage going in there.
So
and the team has, you know, as 4 ults to year 1. That's an issue that your team needs to do something.
So Symmetra setting up very forward turrets. Kind of revealing their hand a little bit too soon, especially with this Winston, which is, I'm pretty sure, put in the game specifically to destroy Symmetra turrets. They get destroyed almost immediately, and now they're on the lookout for Symmetra turrets, and they lose that element of surprise now. Which is something that you really want to have, especially when you gotta hold out for almost 4 entire minutes. Battletoads decided to go up top this time around, and you can see they're a lot more organized now, so there's not a lot for them to capitalize on. They're not getting separated, they're all nice and together, and the D.Va's protecting all of them, but the D.Va ult actually goes down, letting Symmetra get in those really nice orbs. And now they're just rushing all in, just collapsing in on blue team. Might have gotten a little bit too aggressive for Bertborg on Reinhardt, but they managed to make their point. They're pushing Battletoads back. And Bertport saying in the chat, worth it.
Bertborg having, she has 60% also. She got quite a bit of ult charge from that, and Symmetra's so close to having a teleporter up soon. I think by the middle of this fight she'll have that, and Cat Armpit having that.
So Choppy Gamer swapping to the Pharah, maybe realizing, man, we need some air superiority going on in here. And they actually dive in with this very coordinated push and just shutting down the Torbjorn turret. And there's not much for Red Team to do about this. All they have is 1 hit scan now. And blue team is just capitalizing on this sort of chaos that they're creating. But they're disjointed too. They're having a lot of trouble. Bertwork using that ultimate that they got the last time around on just taking out the Mercy. I'd say it's worth it. And they managed to push blue team back a second time. Things are actually just like a glimmer of hope for nap time right now. This full hold actually is starting to look very realistic.
Yeah, and Grimlock just trying to... is using the speed boost from Lucio to just get insane. Must have been play a lot of race game type because he got across the map, I'd say, in 2 seconds, and was trying to get an early burp. Or not burp.
Early burp.
Yeah. Lucio's new ultimate is a burp.
Yeah, a giant burp. Our tactical advisor coming in from Trebson, and then he immediately gets capped. But he did it. He got capped too early. He actually only used like 7% of his ultimate, so frame perfect timing right there. But nap time coming in right now. They managed to get their teleporter destroyed, but it's not making much of a difference. They're managing to really effectively take down Battletoads right now, and Battletoads kind of looking a little bit different than they did the first game around. Now they're looking very disjointed, very confused.
Yeah,
like they don't know what
they've
to
also
do.
been using a lot of vaults while we've had Battletoads not really using all dry pushes. As you see, they're going to have about almost all their ults coming in here. And Choppy Gamer using an ult that I didn't miss, but Zuriel on the high ground doing what he does best and just trying to get out of be in a position that allows him to have the advantage. He's really good at doing that, getting some nice kills without his ult and clearing up that point for the team to get a cap on it. And Aziz still having that res that hasn't been used yet.
Aziz sitting on that res, but it looks like they might not even need it. They're cleaning out red team. They're cleaning out nap time, I'm sorry. And there's not really much stopping them from just getting that first tick, and that is actually, all things considered, a relatively close game.
Yep, I mean, I think that the defense was quite a bit one-sided on with Battletoads, but I think that nap time, they're starting to get things together, and like their awkward comp, or off meta unorthodox comp got Battletoads a little bit on surprise. And here comes that 4-man res that
beautiful
Aziz
4-man
had
res
that saved the team from getting this point captured. And it was behind a wall too, so playing with Mercy does best, it just hides.
I want to imagine is just yelling at his team, just die near the corner. Don't question it, just do it. And wow.
All the metal's going to be going to Battletoads, and I kind of expected they were getting quite a bit more kills than the rest of the
not even
other team, but not even one
not even all the Battletoads. Just 3 of them. The game just calling them out. But that seemed somewhat dominant in favor of Battletoads, but we did see some glimmers of hope for nap time. So maybe we'll see a more equal footing in the next map. So what is the next map?
The next map we are going to be seeing is going to be, let me double check, I believe it's Sky. I did choose the maps, but of course I cannot remember them. And the next one is going to be Draw Skya here. I kind of did a little, I try to even it out with every kind of map style. So I didn't want to say that, no.
Do we have Lunar Colony on the list?
Lunar Colony is not on the list. I don't think we're going to do that in an event until... Just going to update. There we go. And the sides did switch sides. So we are going to be seeing Zuriel's team, Battletoads on attack first. And as the chat saying, time to watch my boy Zuriel camp on high ground. Yes, that is 100% Zuriel. As he gets on high ground and you can get him off, but he's going to be right back up there. So it's something that nap time should probably try to watch out for. But I don't think that Zuriel was the issue for nap time this game. I definitely think there's Choppy Gamer getting in there, and when he was playing Genji, getting a lot of dash kills, and with the Pharah, when he had that ultimate that eventually killed him, it allowed his team to get a spawn advantage to get back to the point and allowed them to secure it. But,
the cold vacuum of space.
Are both these teams ready? Could you give me a
yes,
ready check?
Both teams are ready.
Okay, so we're going to be starting this up. Battletoads just need to win this, and they'll be going up against
Traveling to Volskaya
Filthy
in
Casuals for a possible championship round, as Naptime would be taken out. But I don't think Naptime's out of it yet. They are going to Volskaya here on defense first, which, if you know anything about Volskaya, it is one of the better maps for someone like Symmetra, and even these cold comps that they've been doing, like they did on Hanamura when they did win Hanamura, was a 2CP map. So we could see it again at a Naptime. They pull this unorthodox comp. Maybe
I'm just having my fingers crossed to see at least one Torbjorn start spamming turrets on those platforms.
Well, it's possible. We haven't seen Big B playing the Torb now. Not Symmetra. It's the last time Symmetra did we saw.
Secure the
It was
objective.
not. Didn't end up well. Maybe it's because
just-
Symmetra wasn't playing Symmetra. But
I just love that strategy, though. The amount of, like, if you think of a ratio between effort put in and results gotten out of it, spamming turrets on those platforms is like 0 effort, and you get pretty decent results, all things considered. But maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. Symmetra is kind of a... He's been getting some really unusual picks, so we might actually see that come into play sooner or later.
yeah, and looks like we're going to get a little combo there from Symmetra and
If everyone
Junkrat,
performs
as
their
they're going to try to
function,
get a little
victory
trap
is assured.
combo there with the beams and the explosive mine.
So let's take a look here. So we got kind of a tanky, campy kind of defense for Naptime right now. As for Battletoads, I'm not even really sure what you would call this. It's kind of like tank dive with backline support. It's very interesting. But they're going to have a lot of trouble with all these barriers coming out. They don't really have an answer to all these barriers. And I guess Choppy Gamer either made a mistake
He
and
tried to
didn't
do
know.
the jump and he failed at the jump. Unfortunately, if he would have been able to make that, probably would have got some takes off on the...
Oh no, he swapped to Genji. It was
I
intentional.
messed up. So the,
That was, it's intentionally swapped to Genji. It wasn't a mistake, I promise. So, Battletoads just trying to find an opportunity to go in right now, but once again, they don't really have much of an answer to this barrier. Choppy Gamer swapping back to Widowmaker, I don't know why they swapped to Genji. But Cat Armpit's taking another dive. As of right now, MVP is just Gravity.
yeah, and no real progress has been made. Scrum has been able to destroy some of Winston's barriers, not really letting him get protected, but eventually do jump in. Zero gets taken out by Squirrel, and I know Zero's not going to get the end of that. But Choppy Gamer still trying to get some shots off, and finally gets a kill off on Squirrelman, going after the traffic cone on Anna, but I never get that. Choppy Gamer can get dove on by Trebson.
A very confused dive coming in for Battletoads. I'm not sure what they're trying to achieve here, but whatever it is, it's not working. So blue team, or Naptime just capitalizing on that. Zuriel actually hitting a nice pick on Reinhardt when his back was turned though. But right now, it's sort of just a chaotic kind of brawl. Just everything's happening and everywhere right now. But
Teleporter is online.
Teleporter's up, and we're both taking advantage of the fast. Mercy's coming out.
solo res, and this is Battletoad's sign to finally engage, but still it's really disjointed. Things are just kind of happening everywhere, but Battletoads with the superior positioning right now, taking advantage of that. But oh no, Zuriel got knocked off by the move from Tredson. This might be the difference they have with this nano-boosted Winston. We'll see, and this Torbjorn giving him support. Unless they have an answer for this, this might actually be a hold for Naptime. Naptime finally coming back, and oh no, the bold sacrifice from Bertborg actually saving his team and getting an Earthshooter out. That is incredible. The positioning was, everything was perfect right there just for him to get that. And this is actually a hold for Naptime, which is impressive, because that looks very grim for them.
Yeah, Scrollman using the teleporter effectively, get in there. And I don't know if you noticed it, but he actually used his mine as a defensive strat to save Big B on the Torbjorn. Used it to push the Winston away from him and give his team some space. So some pretty good Junkrat play there. Unfortunately, I had to say that. Usually those words don't come out of my mouth, but they're good ult advantage on the side of Naptime, and Zuriel gonna get this high ground. Gonna try to take out the turret. Takes out Big B. Takes out the turret. He's gonna get jumped on now. Really having any health left though. He gets taken out by Trebston, and they have that advantage now. But it's, if they can get there in time.
And some behind the scenes action. The behind-the-scenes actions right now. Choppy Gamer is actually causing a lot of mayhem for nap time in the back lines, making sure that the Symmetra and Ana couldn't get with the rest of their team. So that actually caused them to cleave, just really disjointed now, and Battletoads was capitalizing on it. As he's coming in with the res, this looks like a cap for Battletoads right now. The best we can hope for is Trepsin stalling out with his Primal Rage. It doesn't last very long, and looks like Battletoads can finally cap with just overtime, keeping them alive.
Maybe Kraus is looking for, but doesn't jump in there. But he probably needs to jump in there if he wants to have any chance of saving the point. And the team's just gonna retreat back as no one else is gonna bother trying to push. And they're gonna go right away for the point. They have the advantage. If they can capitalize.
And where did Battletoads come? They were just immediately on the first point. Earthshatter coming out the last second, but no one's there to capitalize. This is looking like a really rapid, like, second point cap for Battletoads. Tactical Visor coming in from Zuriel, cleaning up, along with the Winston on him with no barrier to protect his team. This might be just an easy second cap for Battletoads.
Yeah, we did see something similar to this, so for nap time on Hanamura, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the same here, as we are pretty much going to be seeing Battletoads win this map. They are going to win this in the series, so now it just comes down to Battletoads up against Filthy Casuals, which we'll be seeing here shortly. We're going to take a short little break before then, but before that, let's show you the... Oh wait,
you've broken the trigger here.
I've broken the trigger, yeah, okay, I guess I am...
You got very little faith for nap time.
No, I just things are being a blur for me right now. I don't know what it is, but it would just.
You're supposed to be impartial.
Yeah, no. I don't know. Let's see.
False alarm. We got we got nap time starting to attack, but if they do not manage to cap second, as Battletoads has, then Battletoads will take the series, and they will face
Filthy Casuals.
Filthy Casuals for the final round.
So I had that wrong. So sorry, guys. Chat's gonna blow up for a second. Oh, I heard this, and then I'm like, oh wait, he corrected himself. But I'm not sure what Symmetra might be playing that May. We've been seeing it switch back and forth, but Big B is gonna be playing that Orisa. I know Big B, I think, is unranked, so. It comes to no surprise that it doesn't understand the full meta yet, but that's the joy of Overwatch. And come to Overwatch University League is that you can learn that by playing events like this, because you get the opportunity to play with people and skill levels that you might not ever have a chance to, especially like a lower level and like bronze playing
especially
with people in like Grandmaster.
It's very rare for you to actually play with in a group setting as well.
Yeah, and so you actually get to possibly learn some things from these people and at least get a chance to play in a full team experience, or everyone's going to be communicating, and not just like quick play or even competitive where not everyone will have a mic. So it's a good experience for someone who's new. And
so we have a composition that would look better on defense for nap time, but we never know. And we have Choppy Gamer on the Sombra, so we'll see how that plays out. But very unusual compositions either way for both sides. But Naptime already muscling their way in on the point. Very kind of disjointed, though, with the Zenyatta just kind of falling behind and not actually getting discords. There is a discord on the enemy Winston. First picks coming out for both teams, but it's going in favor for Battletoads as of right now. That push was just too disjointed, and nobody was really together to capitalize on each other's picks.
And Solo just sneaking around the whole team and placing those transponders in the perfect spots to where you can get back and teleport to and get the health pack, and now is 2% away from having ultimate, which is gonna stop this dive completely. Which does happen.
So, it might be enough to save Battletoads right now. Things are actually starting to turn a little bit into Battletoads' favor, but Naptime is starting to respawn and make their way onto the point. If they can keep this going, If they can keep their presence on the point going, they might be able to cap this first push. But nope, Battletoads coming in, giving them the support. Everyone just died at too distant, too opportune times. Blizzard coming out looks like it died before it managed to come out. So this does look like a failed push for Naptime.
Yeah, Choppy Gamer being the flex player for his team and getting those hacks off on the health packs that are needed, and a quick EMP that his team can help him get, take advantage of health packs, allowed his team to survive that last push. And now we got Zuriel going to be coming in with an ultimate, and Zuriel's going to be going camping on this high ground like normal. Bird Bark also have an ult, but gets taken out. I think, tried to get away from the Lucio.
She was doing an underwater approach.
It doesn't really work that effective. I don't think there's any underwater characters in Overwatch, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but...
So, full ultimates coming in from almost both sides. Grimlock just the odd man out with only 80% of his ult. So, what I'm expecting to see is maybe a dry push from Naptime. But if they start wasting their ults, the Battletoads are going to come in with a res and just undo all their effort. So we'll see how this plays out. So, ultimates just coming out from every single side. As long as they keep the Mercy on live, Battletoads will have this heavily in their favor now that they can undo all the damage that Naptime does. But it seems like they recognize that they're trying to focus on the Mercy with the Discord and the Winston on her. And if they get this pick, oh no! Just wasn't enough. So that actually fell apart very quickly for Naptime, and now Battletoads continues to hold first.
Yeah, this is 50% left from... or 50 seconds left, 45 now seconds left for Battletoads to get this, or not Battletoads, for Naptime to get this point. I'm not sure they have enough time. I mean, the ult advantage is still going to be in favor of Battletoads by having both those supports off, which, I mean, pretty much gives your team give their team pretty much 3 lives here, if timed out right.
So the time pressure is finally cracking down on them, and now they're just starting to make a push. And I guess it's just like the pressure's forcing them to coordinate in a single push now, because now they're pushing in together, and it is making a little bit of a difference. But the Lucio ult from Battletoads coming in, saving Battletoads from any damage that Naptime can pull out. Transcendence coming out really late. They already lost too many teammates, so it's kind of all for naught right now. And Naptime just struggling to hold on right now. Azuriel up on high ground with the damage boosted Mercy not being contested at all, along with the tactical visor. This is pretty much all that they need to close this out.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but Aziz had that res waiting on the high ground just to be safe and able to use it. But I'd say the thing that really cost them the game was the ult board. You saw Naptime had nearly half as many ults available for them almost all the time. Battletoads was really good at getting that poke damage off, so they get the ults. Choppy Gamer getting that ult charge from the hacking of the health packs.
And play of the match from Symmetra as Symmetra of all things. Probably this sneaky little, getting behind the front lines and just causing all sorts of mayhem for Battletoads. And Grimlock, to celebrate his victory, triumphantly disconnects.
Okay, so that now the series does go to Battletoads as...
You predicted the future. How'd you do that?
Yep, I'm just a sidekick, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I have the little time thing that Tracer has, you know. Maybe I sped up time, and was able to see. But
so coming up next, we're going to have Battletoads versus Filthy Casuals for the final series.
Yep, and we are going to be taking a short little break as we get this lobby reset up and the maps assigned. So stay tuned. We will be right back. Hello and welcome back. We have the championship round here as we have Battletoads going up against Filthy Casuals, which I have to adjust the name here for. Filthy Casuals, if you remember, consisted of TLMO, League of Lulu, Zambam, Faith, El Polo Loco, and Bonsai Tuna. So I think both of these teams were running a fairly consistent dive throughout the series. They weren't really doing unorthodox picks like Naptime was, and maybe that could be why their team is in the final deciding match of this Midweek Madness. Both teams are ready, so we're going to be starting up first on Hollywood with Filthy Casuals on the attack this time.
Welcome to Hollywood.
So it seems like both teams really appreciate the dive comp, but it looked like Battletoads had more of a sort of half dive, half frontline DPS kind of thing going on for them. So we'll see how these team compositions interact.
Well, also we've seen more of the dive with like the Mercy coming from, which isn't like as often in the dive. You know, obviously we know like the standard dive is what exactly. Well, not anymore. So if TLMO goes back to Zenyatta, that's like the default dive, like the top 6 heroes usage in the esports scene right now. But we don't. I mean, Soldier isn't unusual. He's still in there, and we do see actually Pharmacy in the last meta report had a higher overall usage than Reinhardt. So.
But Filthy Casuals having a very by-the-book dive composition going in.
Yeah. I would say it's one of the main dives, and it's been effective for quite a while. Well, not with Faith on the Torbjorn. I think they're just trolling right now. But the dive that they've been running is pretty standard dive. It's the same dive comp that Korea used to beat Russia in the World Championship.
Alright, so we're getting started right now. So yeah, pretty much dive comps coming in from both sides right now. Need to remember the names. So, Battletoads setting up, trying to maintain that high ground, and Nico trying to just get a little poke damage in. Looks like Filthy Casuals not really deciding whether to attack head-on or try to get the high ground. But it doesn't seem like Battletoads is doing much to really contest them right now. Here we go with the Battletoads D.Va coming in, trying to harass them a little bit with the Genji. Lucio booping them off, just trying to disjoint them right now. And now Filthy Casuals is collapsing in on Battletoads, just shutting them down really quickly, getting that cleave in, and just taking advantage of the chaos that they cause for your team. And now all that's left on the point is a Lucio very quickly picked off and a D-mixed Miva, who likewise shares a similar fate. And that is a first push capture for Filthy Casuals.
Yeah, and I mean, we see Lulu on the Genji like we saw in the last game by Filthy Casuals. What probably Filthy Casuals should have used from the get-go. I think they probably would put a 2-0 Naptime if it wasn't for that. But we did see, Naptime were able to take a map off of Filthy Casuals, so I wonder if how different it's going to be, and if we are going to see a map take on Filthy Casuals again, or Filthy Casuals will be able to actually take a map off of Battletoads.
So, Filthy Casuals engaging on the high ground with Winston, but no follow-up right now, and he's actually going to get picked off because of that. That was really poor coordination, but he might actually, nope, just barely short of getting away. That was really poor miscommunication for Filthy Casuals, but still the payload trucks along. And with that respawn advantage, that's not really hurting Filthy Casuals that much. Genji ultimate coming out along with a Lucio to back him up, and cleaning house pretty effectively right now. D.Va ult comes out, but D.Va dies to the Faith on Filthy Casuals, and Battletoads is really struggling to just stop this payload at all. They have the high ground right now, but as of now they're being contested, they're being bullied off, and they're really struggling to have a hold at this point at all. It's all been downhill for them.
Yeah, this whole stretch here that it hasn't really been contested at all, which did surprise me. There was a lot of wasted time when Zuriel and Grimlock were trying to get on that high ground to give Zuriel that advantage, but ended up working out negatively for them, and that high ground really didn't stand out.
So Transcendence coming out for Filthy Casuals, just trying to keep everyone alive. Here comes the ultimate Genji from from Battletoads, but immediately gets that shut down by TLMO. TLMO just a nightmare on this Zenyatta, especially seeing how he's not contested. But the undo button coming in for Aziz, a 5-man res. We'll see if that's enough to make a difference and finally give them the hold that they need. Transcendence coming out, just giving Battletoads the advantage that they want, but still no picks coming out. Health is pretty fine, but it's starting to go downhill for the Casuals right now.
I gotta give a nod there, Zambim and TLMO. They're both teammates taking out their other teammate Zuriel. And just they had to bully him as he has that ultimate, hasn't been able to use it, and they really denied Zuriel any chance to use it.
So this is looking very dominant for Filthy Casuals right now. Battletoads has had so many outright advantages going into fights, and they just can't stop them. So this is going to be a very difficult, when it's their time to push, a very difficult push for Battletoads. Especially if they allow Filthy Casuals to...
It's not like they haven't had ultimates. They've had a good ultimate ult charge coming out through all the fights, but it's just more like executing them and taking advantage of the moments when you have them.
So, Battletoads finally getting a pick of their own, but Filthy Casuals coming out with the Transcendence. Not sure if I agree with that, not when you've lost so many people. Rez coming in, undoing a lot of damage done to Battletoads, but wow, it seems like Filthy Casuals isn't really hindered at all. A Tactical Visor coming out for Battletoads, trying to just push them back. They did manage to stall the cart for a decent amount of time, but it looks like this is going to keep going in favor for Filthy Casuals. Especially with that another Genji ult coming out for 50 Casuals and just harassing the backline support while the front line just falls apart for Battletoads.
And really all that's left on the point again is that Diva.
We might want to pause.
Wait, what?
We just lost Grimlock, so we might want to pause. Okay. Grimlock's been having a lot of trouble recently, so he'll be back soon enough.
Okay, and I'm gonna have to actually, I think, invite him myself because it is on invite only.
So I would say a big problem is target prioritization for Battletoads, because you can see Filthy Casuals, they are communicating, they are focusing on whoever is discorded, and when the supports are being harassed, they're falling back and helping them out. And I really have to give TLMO credit on his Zenyatta play, which has been phenomenal so far. He hasn't been
noticed
contested.
this in the last series that he hasn't been contested at all, and he's just been popping off discords and long range shots. That's been helping his team dish out tremendous amount of damage, and League of Legends, he's been doing his job as a Genji and getting in there on the supports.
Remember I said
quick dash.
Remember I said a while back, what's the best counter to Zenyatta? And just say, shoot him. Well, what's the best counter to getting countered by Zenyatta? And you just say, you shoot them first. It's one thing to be uncontested, but being contested as Zenyatta, but you still manage to kill the flankers and just continue on your merry way is enough to make you a really powerful factor in your team's success. And TLMO has been that factor. He's been killing anyone who dares to try to give him any trouble on the back lines and supporting his team when he's not. So he has been making a very big difference for Filthy Casuals this entire game.
And unfortunately here, Grimlock is going to be losing some alt charge, if any, which is one of unfortunate things that happens. But are we ready from this? We got to see if we're ready for.
We're waiting for a ready Battletoads.
So I'll hard chat again. You just give me that thumbs up when they're ready, and I will unpause this for them. But yeah, unfortunately, they don't have a system where if you lag out, you can get your ult back with that hero. It'd be great if they did, especially in like the esports scene with like online tournaments. It really.
Okay, both teams are ready. We're good to go.
Okay, we're getting back into the game scene, so don't mess that up.
Yep, we're all set.
Here we go. Game starting in 3 seconds. There you They did manage to get it past this that choke that they were held at for quite a bit. Lulu reflecting back some shots while Zero trying to get healed and boosted by.
They are getting cleaned straight in half. Choppy Gamer for Battletoads managing to finally shut down TLMO, which is been the bane of their defense for the longest time right now. But Filthy Casual is kind of undaunted. They just keep going, keep getting those picks, and keep letting this payload just truck along. But Battletoads still has the spawn advantage right now. So we'll see if that comes into play with all these picks coming off. But so far, it's been looking very highly in favor for Filthy Casuals.
Zuriel up on the high ground, trying to get some ult tries so he can rain down with a tactical visor, but someone's gonna have to get on the point. You can't have a C9 here. And Zuriel so close to ult,
does have the res though, so that might make a difference if she could get in. If the team could just stall for just enough time, but it's only a solo res. That's not going to make much of a difference, especially when the entirety of Filthy Casuals is on the point. So the best that Battletoads can hope for is just the stall. They're trying their best, but it's just not enough.
Yeah,
and that is...
Zuriel got down at the very last second before the res, and he had ultimate. He could have had a shot to use that tactical visor, but likely would have got defense makeshift. But regardless, having that 2-man res would have been better than that the single res. And let's see if we can get any sort of... Or let's see if they can get a good attack here from Battletoads. I mean, they can do it. It just comes down to can they work out their differences and figure out,
yes,
where
it has
they're
been a
failing
series.
at.
And, go ahead.
Yeah, just where are they failing at? Because they can put in the effort. I mean, you saw they 2-0'd nap time when Filthy Casuals lost a map to them. So.
Yes, and
if you do that comparison, they did better. Yeah, maps could have a play into it, but
we'll see.
The series were a lot closer with Filthy Casuals in that time, and so that's where
we have a King of the Hill map in the rotation for this?
The King of the Hill will be the final series. So,
and this is a best of.
It's a best of 3.
Okay.
Yeah, all the
so
series
far
are best of 3 because there's only 3 teams in this, so. We just did like a best of 3 between all the teams, and
so it has been a consistent series of unfortunate events for Battletoads. But let's see if they can recompose themselves and get it together for their turn to attack.
Yeah, Choppy Gamer thinking about going on the Sombra, but doesn't look like they will. I have a feeling we might see a Sombra come out on the next map. The next map will be Temple of Anubis, another strong map for defensive Sombra.
And Faith on the Reaper, which I'm always happy to see, so that might be someone to keep an eye on during this entire set. Especially with the Winston kind of being a walking health pack for Reaper. We'll see how that plays out. But sort of not really kind of a dive comp going on for Battletoads right now. As for Filthy Casuals, just kind of like a traditional defense with an extra Reaper for good measure. So they're diving in right now for Battletoads, and it seems somewhat coordinated, but they focused fired Nico way too hard, and Nico just immediately dies from pressure, and things immediately fall apart for Battletoads.
Faith's just getting quite a bit of good double kills there, and popping off shots on the team. Gonna go with Zuriel, likely getting a kill. Oh, just barely missed Zuriel, but we still got Grimlock on the Lucio. In that
very surprised. Oh my goodness, Grimlock, what are you doing?
He is a Jet Set Radio master, as he's just been popping around, but TLMO finishes him off, and we do see League of Lulu getting that ultimate.
I'm not sure I agree with this push right now with Battletoads, especially when you just lost your Lucio. It's not really a good time to engage. But still, Nico gets a pick on Filthy Casuals Lucio. And actually, things are starting to look a little bit more up for Battletoads as of right now. They're struggling to maintain this. Filthy Casuals is struggling to maintain the point, but Filthy Casuals has a tactical advisor coming in, getting harassed by the Winston, wasting a lot of that ultimate. But this might be enough to help them clean up and hold this point just for a little bit extra more time. The rest coming in from Aziz, actually undoing a lot of that damage, so we're back in full fourths. Filthy Casuals coming in with the Zenyatta Transcendence, trying to keep everyone alive, and it's starting to make a difference as Battletoads starts losing their supports, things are beginning to fall apart. Tactical Visor coming out for Zuriel on that fantastic high ground. Winston coming in to give him some trouble, and he is eating up a lot of Zuriel's Tactical Visor time, and he gets picked off, and this push is just about over for Battletoads.
Yeah, it was looking really good for Battletoads. You saw Zuriel, he got the shots off onto the Diva in a second that the mech started destroying. He popped that ult, but unfortunately he was unable to do something as she popped it ult, forcing the high for a chunk of time. Manze gonna pop his ult to save himself, but also buy some time.
So Battletoads already starting out at an advantage, picking off Filthy Casual's Lucio. Things are looking very strong in favor for Battletoads right now, but they're getting cleaved, which has been the bane of their existence this entire game. But Lucio ult from Grimlock, saving Battletoads and letting him get this final cap. All that's left to defend is a very lone Zenyatta who's about to get flaked and promptly killed.
Yeah, Faith was so close to popping that Death Blossom. He got the Diva out of mech, but unfortunately the rest of Battletoads was able to clean him up and he was unable to get that Death Blossom.
Wait.
But they're not over yet. They're going to still go for this point, and he has time to use that Death Blossom. He's going to teleport in, and it's going to probably Wraith for him while he's on. Oh, just barely. If he would have Wraith for him, he probably would have got there just in time to stall the point out, but unfortunately he's not.
Yeah, but Faith was very smart. He recognized, he reacted just in time not to push his ultimate and wasted for that stall, realizing that he capped way before he could ever get there. So that was very keen of him to do that. Unfortunately, Filthy Casuals did waste a Lucio ult attempting to pull that off, but they have plenty of time to build it up with this very defense-oriented area right here, with Filthy Casuals maintaining the high ground.
Yeah, we have a big ult stance coming on the side of Battletoads, and you saw Zuriel actually putting shots in on the Zenyatta. Zenyatta was in the high ground, and he wasn't wasting any time. Didn't want to let Timo pop those shots up, and they're making it around this point in some decent time. With Faith, he's gonna get 2 kills there, but also Lulu popping an ultimate. Probably not necessary to do both of those ultimates. Get some declination there, but they are able to get the hold at the cost of 2 pretty big ults.
We do have 2 very powerful ults coming in for almost the entire... Actually, Battletoads has their almost complete ult economy save for Tracer, but it looks like they won't even need it as they're just getting clean picks off of Filthy Casuals. Rez coming in to save Nico just to maintain this push, which is fine. Mercy Rez, a bit of a disposable ult, and Battletoads maintaining a very strong ult economy. Faith swapping off the Reaper, realizing that the close range combat is working out, going on to McCree, see if he can make a difference in Hollywood, Western Town. But this payload is just trucking along.
Yeah, it hasn't been as much, a little bit more contest than Filthy Casuals push, but they're not done yet. It could just be that both these teams are very aggressive heavy and not that great on the defense, and we'll come to see that if Filthy Casual is unable to hold them. So they still
look at how smart
they still have a minute advantage right now over Filthy Casual, so they can get it in time. You know, they could still have a decent advantage going into extra rounds.
And Battletoads has been very clever with their ultimates. They're realizing that they're not needing them to win these fights. They've been holding on to them for an opportune moment. And they still haven't used their ultimates. They're getting these nice picks and not pushing. It's very tempting to push that Q, but they're realizing we have the advantage in this fight. Nico using his ultimate to stay alive, just as I say that, but he's causing enough havoc in the back line that he keeps his payload trucking along while the rest of his teammates can hold on to their ultimates and just keep on moving this payload uncontested. And they are collapsing on Filthy Casuals right now. This is looking like a completely different Battletoads.
Yeah, man, I wonder if there's been some switches. We did see Lulu start off earlier on the soldier, and now he's back on the Ginzu. On the high ground again. Like always, you keep seeing that he's going to be up there with Faith, taking him out, and a high nuke coming out. But unfortunately, he's unable to get anything with that.
And Zuriel having that high ground along with his ultimate, he's going to pop that right away. But that Zenyatta ult coming from Filthy Casuals shutting that down. But it's just Zenyatta by himself right now. I don't know how Zamba died while he was in the Transcendence, but the best that Filthy Casuals...
outside of it,
Might have been it. But the best that the casuals can do right now is just try for a stall. So they're going out tank heroes, just trying to waste as much time as possible. This Genji ultimate might be enough to change everything, especially with the Lucio ultimate protecting him. This might be the turnaround that Filthy Casuals has been waiting for.
Yeah, they were able to take out the team, and then League of Lulu has been seeing that Zerio's up there, and is really going to go after him and try to get him off the high ground. But Zerio's just going to keep coming out, and Tracer's going to also chase after Zerio. There's no Zerio's by himself, so smart move there to find the player that's by himself, take advantage, and stagger that as now. They have the time advantage if we do go to extra rounds. It just comes to the matters if they can hold them.
How quickly things changed for Battletoads, where they were in this very comfortable position, having a time to rival Filthy Casuals, but they got pushed back, and now they're just pushing onto almost overtime for Lucky. So, ult economy in favor of Battletoads right now. Health going very poorly for Filthy Casuals. We'll see if this is enough. Aziz edging on a res to undo a lot of this. Zuriel up on the high ground with the tactical visor again, pushing Filthy Casuals back. This might be the push that Battletoads has been waiting for. Especially with Aziz finally having that ultimate, and he's pretty safe up there with Zuriel. They might be able to push this cart in for the last few meters.
But we do get a Zambam popping a beat, and a El Polo Loco popping that up, and unfortunately unable to get back into mech, and we still have the Roadhog coming out from Bonsai. Bonsai does the vault. They are overtime, so there's really no time to be available for Battletoads.
And things going in favor. Oh, Red's coming in. Only 3 men. This might be enough to make a difference. But it's going to be an uphill battle for Battletoads, especially with the spawn advantage coming in for Filthy Casuals as they collapse in on Battletoads. Faith taking out Nico. This is falling apart very quickly for Battletoads right now.
Have someone on that point. If they can push up that point, you know, it's gonna be GG.
This is a very long overtime. But with the respawn changes for the defending team, this might be enough, especially with Cat Armpit getting just 2 free picks. Zuriel,
no, TLMO stealing Zuriel's spot, wins the 1v1 against his own teammate, and steals the spot, gets 2 with the visor, and there's still a bunch on the point. They're holding this very well. They're trying to, Nico's trying to knock him off just to get him off enough to push it. There's only 2 and 3/4 meters that needs to be left, and this overtime's been an extended one as these teams are fighting.
That is not a pick you want to see. Zuriel getting picked off despite just getting his ultimate on Soldier 76, but Filthy Casuals struggling to maintain hold on this point, especially with Winston coming in to clear out these squishies. They finally managed to push the card in for overtime, but
TLMO gets on the point.
This overtime just keeps going.
Oh, and Faith with the huge! Pulls
Oh
up, but
my
it just gets negated by the Reds.
This just keeps going. Oh no, but they forgot to stand on the point. So Battletoads finally pushing in after a very extended overtime. This might be just what they needed to at least go for a draw.
Yep, this defense coming out of Battletoads is gonna be it's gonna have to be an aggressive one. I mean, they have what, a minute and a half to get to that point, or yep, and wow, just getting off the point for that. It was at 0.58 meters, and just getting off that for a hair of a second caused them to force it into an extra round here.
I had a really great angle on that double pulse spawn.
that pulse spawn at the end, I think it got 3 people, but then gets negated by Aziz res. What was a 3 or 4 man res maybe even, and
it was
having a bunch of reses in this tournament. I think the only mercy we've really been seeing is Aziz, and we've seen a 5-man res, 4-man res, quite a few times. And,
I feel like I needed my 3D glasses for that pulse spawn because as it went off, a bunch of bodies just flew straight at my camera and slammed into the wall behind me. So here we go. Dive comp coming in for Filthy Casuals. We're seeing the first Zarya of this series for Battletoads. We'll see if that's enough to make a difference. Probably going to capitalize with the Winston diving in for that free
And they have that
charge.
3 tank too, the triple tank, so...
Triple tank with no mana. Oh, that is not good. We already have picks in favor for Filthy Casuals, so this is very quickly going their way. Battletoads answering back, but it's not enough of it. Doesn't make much of a difference when you lose both of your supports, and this is a very easy cap for Filthy Casuals.
And my game just crashed. So...
Now I own the game.
You own the game, yep, that is right. So, that game just crashed in the middle of that. Wow. That is not what we want to see. So, if you want to radio cast for us while this is going on...
Well, game's over, and the entire in-game chat is just bursting out. Oh no, the spectator rage quit. Play the match as is with that 5-man res. Very beautiful.
So then that game did go to Filthy Casuals, I am assuming, right?
Yes, they capped right at their first push.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, that sucks for the viewers, as you didn't get to see the end of that game, but you kind of got a gist of it. And if you're watching it, I'm rewatching the delay, and we'll notice that there was, I think, one person left, which was a diva.
Just imagine, all of Blue Team being alive.
Oh, it's
and
invite
then
only,
dead.
so you got to invite me.
I'll invite you. We're heading back to lobby right now.
Okay.
All right.
So unfortunately,
Get back in here.
that happened.
Sleeping on the job. All right, and I'll make you.
Oh, you can't make me leader. Just you got to switch the map to Temple of Anubis.
I'm the daddy now.
Yeah, that's right.
So, up next, Temple of Anubis.
And so we do have a ready coming out of Filthy Casuals.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. So, there's no worries in that. I'm all good. The stream's still running, so that's what matters. So people can still hear our voices. But
All right, we are all set to get started on Temple of Anubis.
So we'll be having Filthy
Now
Casuals
entering the
on the
Temple of
attack.
Anubis.
I think the sides actually probably should have swapped sides, but no one's really complaining. I think because I crashed that it didn't cause the teams to swap sides. But regardless, we will be seeing Temple of Anubis now, and I'm wondering if we're gonna see a Sombra.
Teams will be assigned according to whimsy.
We're seeing the same dive, normal dive coming out from.
Disappointed that we don't see this Som.
And I think they're. I have a feeling
That'd be a second point.
Like I thought for a second they were going to contemplate playing Mercy, but no, we are going to see Nico going on the Reinhardt. Not usual thing these days on these neck of the woods, but I could see. Oh, we do see Nico switching right back to the Winston, and I think there's just more flexibility on the side of Filthy Casuals that's causing them to win. Is like they've swapped off. I mean, they've been running this for the past few games, past like 3 games now. But oh no, I guess this will be the third. But they had, they swapped it around a bit, and I think maybe they did a little quick play and figured out who needs to play what, and it's been working out for them ever since.
The important thing is to build team cohesion, making sure that you don't have stragglers. So we're seeing another dive offense coming in from Filthy Casuals right now. As for the defense for Battletoads, kind of like half dive with Soldier 76 coming in, so dive from both sides essentially. Looks like they're going to be pushing main. And El Pollo Loco is kind of by himself right now, and he gets demeched very promptly for that. Faith, in the meantime, in the backlines, takes out his counterpart. Things going in the favor of Filthy Casuals right now. Both supports being picked off for Battletoads. I'm sorry, Grimlock's still barely alive for Battletoads right now. But things falling apart for Battletoads very quickly. Filthy Casuals capitalizing on the sort of disjoint that they forced onto Battletoads. So, looks like a very quick first push capture for the Casuals.
Yeah, this push got in a minute, and we're gonna have most of the dive, some of the dive, push forward just so they can get there a bit faster and try to take advantage of the, or maybe just get some more all charge.
So Zuriel immediately capitalizing on the high ground that he was given for the side of Battletoads. Looks like Filthy Casuals is just going to dive right in from main. And they're letting the Zenyatta have free reign, which is something that I've talked about this entire series. Ultimate coming out for Filthy Casuals for League of Lulu, and they're cleaning up Battletoads very quickly. And things... this might be a first push victory for Filthy Casuals right now.
Yeah, that is the only person left with Zuriel trying to get some shots off, but that didn't even happen. Nico jumped in there. Ziz does have res, so we do see a res come up, 2-man res.
Cat Armpit having the Diva ultimate, if things go a little bit hairy for them, they might be trying to break that Winston shield right now. Gets killed because El Pollo Loco used the Diva ultimate of his own, and things can go either way right now. But Choppy Gamer actually managing to kill with a pulse bomb. Things are starting to turn in favor for Battletoads right now, and they managed to get a hold before Filthy Casuals can even get a tick.
And we do see Ziz, yeah, get off the Mercy and now on the May. I'm not sure if we're going to see a switch off, which I think we might see switch off right back to Mercy, just to try to get a hold. And now Zuriel getting close again. I'm going to get back on that high ground.
This is gonna make you feel better.
So, really disjointed attack from Filthy Casuals, but it's not making... Oh, made a little bit of difference. They lost their supports, and... Okay, yeah, they made a lot of difference. Filthy Casuals falling apart because of that disjointed attack. Everyone just kind of going off at random times. TLMO using his ultimate, but all he has to really heal is El Pollo Loco, who's just by him lonesome. He gets picked off, and now TLMO shares
it definitely wasn't the best choice to use it. I think he got it a little bit in his head. He was 1v1ing against his teammate. Probably just had tunnel vision because it's his teammate and he just wanted to have fun with him. And when it happens, you know, he lost sight of the game and the Eagle got to him.
Still, both advantage coming out for Battletoads right now. They might be able to hold on for quite some time now.
Oh, wait. We do have...
what's the command?
Oh yeah,
pause?
Control Shift Plus. Control Shift Plus.
There we go.
We do have Grim lagging out once again, unfortunately, for Battletoads. So you're gonna have to send him an invite too, by the way, because it's on invite only.
I need to add him.
No, you just go to the recent players.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, and so send him an invite, and that way you can get back in here, and yeah, we'll see if Battletoads can hold longer. I mean, they were able to hold a bit. Sorry, just reading chat. People saying I rage quit when the game crashed, but unfortunately, Grim has been lagging out a bit today. He's in here now, so once these teams are ready, we'll be getting started back up with the action. It's still 4.5 minutes for Filthy Casuals to get this point.
Yeah, very strong for the first cap, but things falling apart a little bit towards the end as Battletoads gets their feet in the ground.
Yeah, we do have.
So we are going.
We're about to have 3 ultimates available from both sides. Actually, the Winstons are in the 90%.
It looks like Filthy Casual is going to push left side this time around while the Winston jumps in by himself. That's a bit unorthodox, but whatever works. They're trying to muscle their way in right now, and Winston on Filthy Casuals trying to bully Zuriel out. Zuriel gets killed before he can use his ult, but he did not waste any ult percentage because he died way too fast, so he'll hold on to the next time he spawns. Filthy Casual is cleaning house right now, with Battletoads not able to answer back at all. Grimlock stalling as long as he can, and Tactical Flies are finally coming out for Zuriel. We'll see if it's enough to make a difference, but he's getting focused way too hard, especially the D.Va eating up his ultimate. And the best we can hope for is these supports stalling out, and League of Lulu pulling out his Genji blade to try to clean house. Winston Nico on Battletoads' side stalling as long as possible. The Mei coming in for Battletoads, just trying to stall this out, try to get their teammates in, but he dies TLMO before he even gets a chance to get on point. And this is looking very strongly in favor for Filthy Casuals, especially with the Zenyatta Transcendence coming up.
And Grimlock here just dancing away with the Lucio, pillar to pillar, jet set radio style, untouchable. Grimlock, I swear, this has to be DSP Stanky's alt account, because the way he's jumping around, he can't get hit.
DSP Stinking if he was a pacifist. And really impressive, too. They didn't even manage to get a single tick, despite all the time that the point was contested. So they have been making a huge difference with this. And TLMO just raging in the chat. Grim, stop it. They realize that he is causing too much havoc for them. They can't get this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch that camera play, because like the speed boost is just insane now that Lucio has after jumping up walls, and it just I just can't believe how well he can control it. Just because that
like they wasted 2 minutes just because Grimlock was wasting so much time contesting the point. Oh, but Grimlock, I think, getting a little bit too close to the sun, being a little bit farther ahead, but he's still dancing around on the pillars right now. Uses his ultimate of his own. We'll see how this battle turns out, but right now it's going either way. Actually slightly in favor for Filthy Casuals as the health pool starts to drain for Battletoads. Res coming in, this might be enough to let Filthy Casual or Battletoads hold on to this point. Grimlock, or I'm sorry, League of Lulu using his Genji play to get rid of Grimlock and Grimlock only, and Grimlock retreats into spawn, not letting him actually get the pick. So this hold continues on, and still, Filthy Casuals have not gotten a single tick from this.
It might be the part of the chat, because the chat keeps saying that they're disappointed that Nico told them to watch and that Nico was losing, but it seems like after that, you know, the chat must have got to their head, and they've been on top of this. But TLMO finally getting his ult back, and Faith actually switches to Reaper, probably just attempted to get some shots off onto Grimlock.
Lulu with an unusual pick onto Farah, I guess having enough of Grimlock's shenanigans, deciding to take the fight to him. And he is actually out for blood. He went in just focusing exclusively on Grimlock. But here we go, they're finally getting a team engage right now. But things are turning in favor of Battletoads right now. Ultimate coming out for Battletoads' ultimate D.Va, and a res coming in just for good measure. This is looking very bad for Filthy Casuals. So, Faith actually coming out with a nice ultimate, clearing the point. This might be their first chance to get the tick, especially, nope, Grimlock is still alive, causing all sorts of havoc up top, and they don't even know that he's there.
Come on, we need to get in control of the point.
30 seconds.
So, things are kind of going in the favor of Battletoads right now, especially with that spawn advantage. Filthy Casual is managing to whip out the Lucio ultimate to hold on to the point just for a little bit longer. But we are now almost in overtime, despite the very strong time pool that Filthy Casuals had for that last bit. So this might actually be the most effective stalling I've ever seen. But looks like Battletoads are finally starting to get cleared out, and this might be Filthy Casual's chance to get at least one tick right now. Blizzard coming out from Mei, freezing anybody on the point, everyone starts to retreat, and things are starting to look very grim for Filthy Casuals.
And that's the second time, though, that Grimlock hasn't been able to use his ult, and Faith managing to get ultimate again, but trying to take D.Va out of the mech before using it, because there's no point in getting that ultimate getting up, but Grimlock still hasn't used that ult yet, and just been like stalling on the walls.
That's still smart. He doesn't have enough teammates on the point to really utilize the ult effectively, especially when they die as quick as they do. Grimlock's just doing his best to find a good opportune moment. Faith having a fair ultimate and immediately slapping his Ziz away. This might be the push that Filthy Casuals has been waiting for.
We need to defend the objective.
Oh, and there's Grimlock back on stalling. Finally using that ultimate to protect the Mercy, who almost has her res.
And gets taken out before it, 99%. And Choppy Gamer getting all two, going to be using that fairly soon. Unable to get anything, and then we have Lamo having all in there with a C9 there. No, during the middle of a recall, unable to stay on the point, and the overtime's finally over.
It was that Mercy kill was a game changer. If they didn't kill that Mercy, they would have gotten res. They would have resed almost everyone on the point, and that almost definitely would have been a full hold for a second for Battletoads. So it's time for Battletoads to answer back with an aggressive offense of their own.
So, yep. I don't think we're gonna see really any roster changes. Both are go pretty good, but yeah, Grimlock. We didn't see much of this. I mean, I saw him doing his fast his speed runs on Nubani, just getting there trying to get some boops off. But remember, it was a burp off, and
yeah.
but that holding is just insane. I've dealt with some crazy Lucios, but the control that he had there was really keeping his team in the game, and
we'll see if that comes into play for his offense as well as his defense.
Yep, and
looks like once again just the prolific dive comp coming in for both sides right now. Almost mirror compositions, I think. Oh no, we got the Mercy instead of a Zenyatta and a Genji instead of a Soldier 76. But dive comps either sides. This has been the name of the game for the entire series. Actually, the entire tournament so far. So we'll see how this works out for Battletoads.
Both these teams have been doing the same comp pretty much the whole time, and we got this whole team essentially being on the high ground over here, which is really good for like a dive to catch them by surprise if you're gonna play that defensive dive. But they just have like the Winston there, being a little distraction, and this whole team's now going to jump down.
And Bonsai Tuna actually just doing a solo dive in, and he just gets ignored by all Battletoads. And that was the cause of Battletoads' downfall for this push, as they immediately get picked off one by one, just because they go in already weakened from Bonsai Tuna just damaging in the back lines and cleaving them, and they get picked off very quickly. This push has already fallen apart. But if things go bad, you would prefer they go bad quickly, at least.
Yeah, and with that, I mean, ultimates, there's fairly good amount of ultimate charge from both teams, actually. And Nico having the most, actually Choppy having the most, but this dive's isn't too bad. They got the high ground now, and getting the health advantage from health pack. Patsy Bonsai by himself.
So Filthy Casuals going in at an uncomfortable position, trying to assault this choke point. Tactical advantage really for Battletoads right there, and they take full advantage of it. Getting a few key picks off. Things are looking like it might be the capture for Battletoads, but Filthy Casuals still having signs of life here, especially with TLMO with an ultimate already. But with only a D-Mech Diva and a Tracer to heal, we'll see how this plays out.
Quite a bit of offense still available. Nico Sodama finally pops it. Ziz just respawned and he's going to come back with red since his team happens to not cap it right away. So it looks like they got a good advantage here.
So this stall has been going on for quite some time, considering it's a first point push. So even if they fail, they have wasted a lot of time defending this, but it looks like it's starting to go into Filthy Casual's favor as these ultimates come out, especially with League of Lulu. TLMO on Sombra, the rest coming in for Battletoads right now, trying to keep this push alive. Let's see if it's enough to make a difference. As of right now, the health pool's looking really in favor of Filthy Casuals. As their supports get picked off one by one, it starts falling apart, and this finally puts a lid on this push for Battletoads.
And TLMO is just getting those hacks off right now on the health packs. I don't think it's a bad idea actually to go on the Sombra. You know, she does play as a support, and I think maybe against the comp that they're dealing with, that it might be better to have that Sunbar because you can eliminate that Mercy Res. They don't want that Mercy Res to give them a second chance, which has been happening quite a bit for Battletoads.
So Bonsai Tuna, look at him. He's getting ready for the flank. He sees those nice squishy supports in the back line. He sees them all the way back there, just isolated from his team. And he just goes in, capitalizes on it. Faith gets the kills for him, but it was Bonsai Tuna that was making the play there. So things already falling apart for Battletoads. They're struggling to keep this push alive, and they're retreating, realizing that it's all for naught this time around.
Yeah, Timo finally getting that EMP available. And probably going to see a combination of that with, I mean, either El Polo or Legally, honestly, could use that combination to get a decent
So Battletoads attempting the same approach that failed, I think, the last 3 times, and with very similar results, except this time around Grimlock and yeah, just sneaking their way onto the point, actually getting a tick while the entirety of Filthy Casuals was distracted, but ticks don't make differences when you're going for the capture, especially when you're pushing onto overtime.
10 seconds left is not a lot of time. Nico's going to have to jump in there. It's hard. Try to get in there.
Nico has to jump with a horizontal angle.
He does get onto it, and we do have this getting taken out. Unable to use that res. Cat Armpit as a mech, so it does get 2. Well, it actually gets 1 within the mech. And Bonsai also popping off at the same time. Grimlock
so this looks more like the Swan Song for Battletoads. They do have the spawn advantage, I believe, but they're struggling to get the kills out here. There is an ultimate coming out from Zamban, I'm sorry, to basically close out this battle. Faith getting 2 picks, or just picks off the Diva and her mech. Rez coming in, rezzing both Cat Armpit and Choppy Gamer. EMP coming in, a little bit late for the res. We'll see if it makes a difference, but League of Lulu will probably close it out with this Genji ultimate, and that'll most likely be the end of the series.
Not done yet, yes. Choppy Gamer gets off. Uses be able to tear Lulu and D-Mech the Diva, but there's still not enough time for them to get this, and that's going to be going to Filthy Casuals. Filthy Casuals will win this. I think this might be like TLMO's like 4th win in Midweek Madness. So congratulations to him. I think I'm trying to see. I don't know if anyone else on there has won Midweek Madness, but I know that TLMO and Zamban will be bragging to the rest of their team that they beat their captain and Zuriel. As well as our buddy Burport. We're all pretty good. We scrim each other a lot. So here at Lulu, as I pretty much called out the pod feed from this assault play. As, it happens right there. But yeah, good series from all the teams here.
Mm-hmm. That was very excellent play coming from both sides. Filthy Casual just having the more concentrated, more coordinated pushes for their dive compositions. But practice makes perfect, and you got to build up that synergy.
Thanks. So congratulations to Filthy Casuals for winning this week's Midweek Madness, and hopefully we'll start to do it more consistently. I just moved, so I will be more available to do more casting. I will be casting the championship series for North America. If you want to come check it out here at twitch.tv/OWUniversity, and be sure to also, if you're interested in joining the league, go to our website owuniversity.com or our Discord, discord.gg/OWUniversity. And of course, as you can probably see at the bottom of our screen here, there's the Reddit page /r/Overwatch University, where you can post, you find guides to getting better at the game, better at heroes, team strats. Learning environment is what Overwatch University is all about. So once again, this is Pimp the Grib, and with me is Theta Zero, and
Hello.
Thanks for watching.
Bye bye.